Hello everyone and welcome to the Alliance Games featuring Wild Rip, co-presented by Globe and powered by Logitech G, dubbed by the community as the U-Up of esports. Alliance student clubs from across the Philippines are #AllG to compete in multiple esports titles and represent their campus. I'm Dash together here with the idol Rebenga and will be your shoutcasters for today's matches. Rebenga, kamusta ka naman? It's been a hot day. Kamusta ka naman dyan?
Yes, sir. So, good evening. So, back to the casting. So,
Yes.
hopefully, maganda yung games. Hopefully,
Mm.
hoping for great games and more Wild Rift, more fun. So, yun lang
Yes.
naman.
And yun naman nakita rin naman natin last week, no? There's a lot of, kasama ko si Coach Rek last week, and the battles between How Valiant Esports and Taylor Tigers Dawn, and even the second match during that day with Leviathans and Mayhem was very intense. So expect natin na ganun rin this time, kasi ang makikita natin maglalaban for today would be TOPM Gearhawks Esports at NGS Gaia and URS Digital Giants and PUP Pylon Servers. Mauuna yung nasa baba natin, which is Digital Giants versus Pylon Servers. Honestly, these are two of my favorite teams. Kaya right now gusto ko makita kung ano mangyayari dito sa laban nito. Nasa lower brackets na sila at kung sino man matanggal dito ay actually kung sino matalo, sila na yung matatanggal for our competition. Kaya sobrang init ng mga laban natin. Ano in-expect mo sa mga drafts natin dito, Rebenga?
Grabe, sa sobrang init, nag-start na. So, expected more on team fighting. Kasi actually nag-post-stream ako kahapon last week. So, nakita ko yung mga plays na yung mga AcadArena teams compared sa Icon, which is yung Pro Tier tournament natin. So, may mga similarities, pero meron silang parang sariling flavor. So, yun yung sa AcadArena. Kumbaga, hindi siya pa ulit-ulit na picks na sa Icons medyo alam mo na memorize mo na yung ABCD. Dito, may kanya-kanyang specialty picks dito kung saan they're playing more for comfort rather than kung ano talagang uso ngayon. So, hopefully, mas marami tayong makita dito. Yeah.
Yun talaga yung thing, no, ng mga collegiate teams. They have a lot of comfort picks na usually minsan hindi natin nakikita even at the highest level of plays right now, which is Icons. Pero to, nag-a-adapt sila, which is what I like, no? Kasi nakikita natin mga bans dito, which would be the Renekton, the Senna, most of the time always pick rin sa Icons. Itong Olaf, yung respect talaga nila with the Olaf in the early game, yun talaga yung thing ng mga collegiate teams. Kasi they like the early game and alam nila kung paano mag-snowball.
Oo nga. So, most likely, yung mga bans din dito is more for target bans on the certain player kasi baka tinitignan nila yung match history o kaya yung most played niya. Uy, malakas siya magganito, so let's ban it. And then, if ever na wala sila baban, they're going for the more meta bans such as, tignan mo tong Senna, tong Karma, pati Yumi. So, a lot of Enchanter supports na tinanggal na sa pool.
Yun talaga eh. The usual rin to eh. Kahit classic rin na nakikita natin yung Karma Yumi. I think nasa over 50 na nga yung ban sa Karma Yumi even in the Icons. I like this first pick that they have Lucian. Alam naman natin Lucian is very flexible. You can put him in almost any lane at this point. Kaya using him as a first pick is great just because hindi pa rin nagbibigay na masyadong maraming information sa other team to.
So, ang maganda sa Lucian is kahit sa Icons sinasabi Lucian, ang strength talaga ng Lucian is yung kanyang laning phase. Yung utilize yung Lucian. Whenever nananalo yung Lucian, it's that he's dominating the lane. So, na yung number one step na kailangan yung gawin kung may balak kayong gumamit ng Lucian.
Yeah. Pero totoo naman yung sinabi mo, Lucian. Kasi ang baba ng win rate ni Lucian sa Icons. Kaya yun rin yung makikita natin dito. Pero tingnan naman natin, baka iba naman mangyari dito for Pylon Cerberus. And pinuha rin nila ng pick, which is Ziggs and Jace. A lot of poke damage underside. Pero maganda yung ginagawa dito ng Pylon Cerberus. Nakakita sila ng poke damage. Ang ginagawa nila ay humahanap sila ng ways para mag-engage pa ng mas solid. Para hindi makapag-poke yung members ng Digital Giants.
So, ang gusto ko sa Digital Giants, it's also very flexible wherein Jace could be placed sa taas, Baron lane, mid lane, Ziggs could be placed mid or ADC. So, they're going for a more poke-centric lineup. Ziggs, Jace, very meta picks. And ang gusto ko dito yung adaptation ng Pylon Cerberus. Xin Zhao is a perfect counter para sa mga poke champions because pag pumasok Xin Zhao, nag-ulti siya, wala nang kwenta yung mga poke na ibabato nila.
Especially for range champions, talaga hirap na hirap sila whenever a Xin Zhao comes into play. Dahil nga, eto, at least ngayon, tatlo na yung nakikita nating actual range champions kasi Thresh, even though that he has short range, parang range champion pa rin naman siya at this point. Pero still, as you said, this is a solid jungler na nakikita rin natin even in the icons. Pero the answer here is, nakikita natin yung mga bans nila. They're banning a lot of these champions for safety. Nakikita natin before, it's a Lux and Morgana in the WCSPH. And nakikita rin natin ngayon, binaban nila. I think this is more for comfort, not wanting to fight them. And dahil nga wala rin naman silang jungler on both sides, I like the Lee Sin ban. Kasi at least if ever makalabas yung Kha'Zix, that would be a good pick for the side of Digital Giants.
Yeah, so ang ginagawa ngayon ng team Digital Giants, removing yung mga enchanters na pwedeng tumulong or rumespo dito sa pasok ng Rakan, pagpasok ng Sinjo. Kumbaga yung damage and yung engage pa na niya. So tinanggal nila na Camille, so safety bans kasi ayaw nila ma-engage yan.
Yes.
And when you're using a poke composition, ang number one kailangan mo iwasan is to get engaged on, and you always want to kite and poke the enemy from afar.
Yeah, ayaw rin talaga nila ma-pick talaga, kaya rin binan nila yung Camille kasi the Hextech Ultimatum is really good at doing that. Pero the side naman ng Pilot, I like din sa side ng both of teams natin kasi there's a thing na lagi nakikita natin sa icons na Hull Breaker is the meta. And ito, meron na silang dalawang champions na pwede gumamit doon. Make that 3. Isama pa natin si Corky dun sa mga champions na pwede rin gumamit ng Hull Breaker. And this could be interesting kasi at least even though there's a lot of potential damage agad sa side ng Digital Giants. So kukulangan na lang ako sa kanila sa CC, which could be their last pick. Sa Pylon Cerberus, there's a lot of potential for damage pero medyo kulang pa. There's a lot of ways to sustain. So kailangan pa nila na something to disrupt the backline of Digital Giants. And Wukong is a good answer to that.
So perfect yung Wukong dito kasi what you need is more engaged. So once pumasok yung Rakan, once pumasok yung Wukong, kailangan nila ng makapasok sa backline and to disrupt the poke composition, which is kung saan nag-focus talaga tong Digital Giants. So they're committed to the poke composition. They have Thresh for the box and then Lantern to help the champions if in case they get caught. So ang round up lang dito ng DG is or for counter engage or pang kite or pang frontline. So ang Pylon Cerberus, kompleto ng composition. They have a lot of all-in potential to try to counter this poke composition.
Interesting, no, na yung last pick nila. I've been seeing a lot of this. The Cinch being the last pick just because of them. Pwede nila kasi ilagay sa mid lane si Cinch with this composition that they have already. And putting Cinch in the mid lane just makes it so na mas madali yung pag-rotate nila. Yes, it's not a really easy lane to be with. Pero pagdating sa mga objectives, that is where Cinch shines. And yun yung nakakatakot dito for Digital Giants. I hope na maka-damage sila against them because looking at them, sa side ng Pylon Cerberus, ang kunat nito lahat. Kahit sasama mo pa si Lucian can just get out of the way whenever there's poke damage happening.
So, ang ginawa dito I think this will be a mid-singed if I'm not mistaken. Tapos, probably a top Wukong. And then, yeah, tama nga. So, sa kabila, ang blue side, basically, Pylon Cerberus going for an all-in composition. Gusto lang to go on your face. Gusto lang mag-engage sa inyo. Tapos, dito naman sa kabila, complete opposite. Gusto lang mag-kite. Gusto lang mag-poke with the Kha'Zix second evolve. And try to assassinate your members. So, very interesting dynamic for both teams. Kitang-kita yung kanilang win conditions and let's see sino mas malakas na team na pwede mag-execute na to.
Yun yung exciting dito, no? Kung ano, ibang different win conditions and different objectives for both of our sides. So yun yung kailangan natin makita dito. Pero interestingly, no, sa nakita natin dito, Rebecca, hindi yata nila pinilitan yung top lane nila. Kaizen would be the one using the Xin Zhao. So Xin Zhao against the Jace, yes, pwede sila lumapit. Pero I kind of favored the Wukong versus the Jace more kasi Wukong could at least sustain a lot more. Xin Zhao doesn't really have that much of a sticking power except dun sa Audacious Charge niya. After the Audacious Charge, mahirapan na siyang lumapit unless he has more dahil pwede siyang patalsikin ni Jace. So, what's interesting here, at least with the Wukong Kha'Zix matchup, hindi ganun kalaki yung advantage ni Kha'Zix just because of the clone or the mirage of Wukong against Kha'Zix kaya hindi maa-isolate agad itong si Wukong.
So, looking at the jungle matchup, since this is a Wukong versus Kha'Zix, I think Kha'Zix would have the advantage when it comes to the
Definitely.
1v1 skirmishes. Tapos, yung Wukong talaga is more for the team fights once dumating sa 5 minutes. When the objectives come out, that's when you will
Okay.
see, uy,
Nagpalit
actually
naman
sa
pala
Wukong
sila.
top. Okay, so sa Wukong
Nagpalit
top.
naman pala sila.
Okay na, okay na. Last minute, last
Okay.
minute.
Okay. At least ito, mas okay to. Kasi if ever that's the Sinzao versus the Kha'Zix. Alam naman natin lamang pa rin si Kha'Zix, pero at least Sinzao has a fighting chance a bit. Dahil malakas rin naman yung early game damage si Sinzao. Pero ito, sa nakikita natin with both of their win conditions, let us set some expectations here, no, Rebenga. Kasi yung early game is very important. And DG has the damage, pero medyo item dependent sila compared to what Pylon Cerberus has. Kaya I can see that Pylon Cerberus would have the advantage on this first objective na makikita natin.
Yes, so ang kailangan ng DG dito is to let si Pylon to start objectives, tapos ang gagawin nila is to poke. So Digital Giants cannot start objectives kasi maiipit sila doon, lahat sila magsasama-sama and mawawombo combo. So DG has to play a bit more passively and try to punish mistakes. Tignan mo, as you can see, the top side, nagamit na ni Wukong kanyang flash, which is really good para sa Jace. And importante yung Jace in terms of getting ahead and try to snowball the game.
Yes, yun talaga yung kailangan si Jace. Most of the time kasi when it comes to Jace, you want that early game damage, you want that at least one item lang for a Jace. Yung Shock Blast niya, ang last na agad dun damage. Kaya yun yung nakakatakot dito for the side of Digital Giants. So Pylon Cerberus needs to work on that. That early game is what they need. And ito nakikita natin sa bot lane. I think they want to go for a fight kick. They don't have any vision at this part of the map. Pero dahil sinashove nila, Pylon Cerberus won't get that successful gap on this side of the map. But look at this. Digital Giants, nakikita natin si Steresis, kumukuha na ng blue dun sa top side.
So I think nakita nila or naramdaman nila na nasa bot side yung Sinzao. Tapos so they know na rin na nandito yung Kha'Zix, so they're looking for the collapse.
Okay, gusto nila labanan ito. Nakita natin top side. Even though na malakas yung damage si Jace, hindi pa rin sapat dahil naka-ignite na nga siya dito. Lalabanan siya na 2v1. That's Kuya Fall. On that fall would survive. And that's gonna be it. A 1-for-1 on both sides. And nakuha pa ng blue itong si Steresis.
So that was supposed to be a clean first blood para sa Digital Giants, pero si Kuya Fall nakapag-last hit pa, nakapag-first kill pa siya bago mag-fall down. So looking good kahit papaano at nakapag-trade itong Pylon Esports.
Interestingly, no, nakakuha pa rin sila ng early game advantage doon sa side nila. Sa side dito ni Kuya Fall, nakakuha siya ng first blood, which is more items. Pero nakita naman natin, Hysteresis would at least have a better way of rotating kasi na-delay ng onte itong level 5 na to ni Kaizen. Kaya mas makakapag-rotate na mas mabilis itong si Hysteresis mula sa top side natin. At nga, irigang itong si Kuya Fall kasi wala pa siyang flash as of now.
Yeah, so tama ginagawa ng Digital Giants. They know na yung Jace yung win conditional early. 46 just wants to farm and there's a clash in the Baron lane.
Okay. Okay, so agad one kill already on the top side of the map. And as we said nga kanina, Rebenga, in-expect natin, dahil nga nakakuha siya ng advantage, makakuha siya hanggang sa top lane dahil wala pang flash nga si Kuya Fall.
So good rotation dito para sa Digital Giants. Gusto nila palamangin yung Jace and they know na medyo mahina pa yung Wukong. Na-burn na rin nila yung ulti. So they would be able to get a lot of gold into the Jace, which is very important lalo na sa early game natin.
3 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock and inaabangan natin yung susunod nating objective, which is the 5 minutes. I like this change na ginawa nila dito, Rebenga, na ginawa nilang 5 minutes objective para hindi nagmamadali lahat, no, to get their first item. So very forgiving for those champions na very item dependent for the first objective. And makikita natin dito, most of them, especially Hysteresis, meron ng first item dito which is really scary, which is the Dust Blade. Napupunta siya sa bot lane, jumping in, Ace their fear, enough damage, gets the kill. And ito sa bot lane naman kukunin nila yung kill kay Hysteresis pero hindi yata nila magagawa yung Crescent Guard to at least mitigate the damage pero hindi pa rin enough para makakuha nila yung kill. Digital Giants would be backing away from this. That's another kill. Meron sila Sticky Goo. Would he be able to chase? Hindi. And that's gonna be 1-for-0 in the advantage of Digital Giants.
So napakaganda ginagawa ng Kha'Zix dito is nakakagawa siya ng plays all over the map. So after ganking yung Baron lane, so may Hullbreaker na yung Jace, sure win na siya sa lane. Pwede nang iwanan. So go immediately for the bot lane. So ang i-punish naman na natin is yung bot lane. Tanggalin natin ng lakas tong Lucian and marami rin silang na-burn na ultimate. Check na yung ultimates ng Pylon Esports. They're all off cooldown. Lahat ko sila cooldown and with the objective spawning in 15 seconds, this is really good para sa DG.
Okay, yung nakita nga natin dito for especially for DG. Ang laki ng advantage nila, 4.6k as you said. That's almost half a second item. And meron na siya agad nito. Pero parang hindi yatap ka na yun. Pasok siya doon. Status is kinailangan niya mag-leave. Meron pa siyang flash. And nakuha nila yung kill, nakuha nila yung shutdown, and pati yung referral nakukuha dito ng Pylon.
Medyo miscommunication yata doon para sa Digital Giants. Sa iwan yung Kha'Zix tapos hindi pa siya na-lantern nga maayos kasi anong nangyari is nagsabay yung blast sa lantern and this will be an easy referral para sa Island Esports.
Yes,
on
and yung
bot
maganda
side.
pa dito. Pwedeng
May
pa nila
laban
kunin
yata.
to, Benga, no? May laban sa bot side pero sayang yung package nila. So makukuha nila yung tower sa top side. Pero at least makakapag-trade si Steresis dito ng Mountain Drake. Pero mas importante ito pag nakuha nila tong top side, they have this priority on top side of the map para yung next referral mas madaling kunin dito ng side ng Pylon ulit.
So there will be a cross-map objective with Pylon Esports getting the top tower. Bot tower, I think they're trying to dive the Singe. So namatay yung Singe. Meanwhile dito naman sa top lane, si Jace ay tinatry niya clear yung Herald.
no.
Kaso nga lang, di pa.
Patay yata siya dito.
Oh, still alive.
Patay yata siya.
Okay.
Buti na lang napuwi siya. And
Pero yung
that's the
tower,
low HP
tower.
agad. And the tower, second tower, pati take down ba nila to? Yes, they had the time. Nakuha nila yung second tower pa, which is pretty great. That's a lot of priority sa top side ng map.
Oo nga, pero so they're able to get a big advantage. 2 towers sa taas, bot tower most likely would fall down. So in retrospective, nakakuha ng DG ng isang tower plus 1 dragon. Tapos sa kabila naman, they're able to get 2 towers, which is good for both of their comps.
Unfortunate na nakakuha sila dito ng yung advantage na nakuha ng Digital Giants, parang nakuha agad pabalik ng Pylon servers dahil nga as we said kanina, meron na silang towers na nakuha, which is great. And nakuha pa nila yung shutdown gold kanina kay Asterisa. So that is at least na lesson nila yung gold cap na meron sila kanina.
Pero based sa game state, it's looking good para sa DG because they would want yung ganitong klaseng game na mabagal lang siya, low kill count, and talagang nakapag-skill na maayos. Pero I think, nope, there will not be a contest. Gusto lang ko yung Scuttler. And this Jace, I think, will be a big factor once it comes to the later stages because siya yung, kumbaga, yung split pusher nila. Ang gagawin ng DG dito is magsasama lang yung apat and then yung Jace bala na siya sa buhay niya.
Oo, totoo. Yung talaga yung makikita natin mangyayari dito for Jace, for sure. Ito nakita natin dito sa top side ng mapa natin. Kung gusto sila kumuha ng advantage on the top side para ma-take down nila yung tower. Nakuha nila yung tower and walang trade. I think magiging trade dito yung bot line of the Mountain Six. Oh no, that's gonna be the charm! Wala man lang naisagot dito yung DG. Pero at least,
another cross map play sa mid side. So DG, kahit namatay yung Ziggs, they're doing another great rotation after na binasag yung tower. Nakita nila nasa baba yung members ng PYL, so they immediately went to the mid to get the tower as well. So kahit papano nakapag-trade sila even though namatay yung Ziggs, they have gotten 2 towers which I think is very worth, especially na take down nila yung mid tower.
Especially nga, no, Rebenga nakuha nila yung mid tower, which is very important para magkaroon kayo ng priority sa mapa. And dahil nakuha na nila to, this would just really make sure na meron silang control for this next objective. And as you said, late game yung champions na to. Meron silang Corki, meron silang Ziggs. And the longer the map, or the longer the game goes, the stronger URS would be. So Pylon is on a deadline here. Pag naabot nito ng deadline nila, this would just go bad for them.
So far, DG doing very good map rotations. Jace splitting the bottom. So, ang gusto nila gawin dito is to force the Wukong na tapatan yung Jace. Kasi pag tinapatan ng Jace yung Wukong, then a big ultimate will be off para sa CRB. And sobrang pabor yun sa DG kapag na -1 yung wombo combo. You can see yung wombo combo ng PYL is yung Rakan, Wukong, and then yung Singe magugulo lang siya.
Yun nga dito sinabi nga natin yung Wukong does have a lot of ways to disrupt the fights. And sa nakita naman natin dito sa bot side, Summit has Hullbreaker already. So ito talaga yung gusto nila gawin. At least have some pressure at one part of the map. And if ever na nape-pressure sila, you can play around that. You can play around the pressure that they have been building. And yun yung nakikita natin ginagawa nila dito. That's what they want to do. They want to get the pressure. They want to make sure that they have priority all over the map. Digital Giants, they need to skip. Even, gusto nila kunin itong Red Herald dito. Gusto nila i-trade. So there might be a fight here. The hook comes in. But Kira doesn't want to go in for the fight. Mega Inferno Bomb coming in. Pero ito yung damage truly enough for them. The package is there to stop them from getting it. They got the Red Herald. Pero itong backlines, Kuya Paul, dito na Cyclone, dito sa backline, they were able to get the knock up onto their side. Pero si Fair will be able to get kill, and that's great. 1 HP, and that's still a 4-for-3 in favor for the side of Digital Giants.
So napakagandang team fight na ginawa for both teams. Ang nag-decide lang talaga doon is yung package ng Corki. Kasi ang ginawa ng package ng Corki, if you look at the replay, kahit maganda yung ulti ng Ziggs, they had a great engage dito na nakapunta sa backline yung Rakan, and look at ginawa ng package. Di makapasok, di makalapit yung members itong Digital Giants kasi may red carpet
Mhm.
dyan, di sila makatawid. Kumbaga, and
Tama.
then Jace with the cleanup duties. Secure. I think, saan napunta yung Herald? I think nakuha ng PYL, yung Herald.
Yes.
So,
Yes. I
so
think so.
kahit pa paano, even though lamang yung DG sa kills, CRB is able to get the objective.
Yes, they were able to get the objectives dito and nakakuha sila ng kill. Pero still, it's a 4-4-3 na nakuha na side in Digital Giants. And remember, that was almost a 4v5. Late na nga dumating si Summit during that fight eh. Pero still, the damage that they can deal, Digital Giants, especially that they have the package kanina. Pero okay, so I made the mistake kanina, Rebenga. Nakuha pala ng DG.
Oo nga, nakuha pala ng Jace yung
upside
Herald. Yung nga eh.
Uh-huh.
So, I think advantage. But look what they're doing here is sinasakripisyo na ng DR. Gusto lang kill ito. While
nila
Jace,
kunin.
trabaho lang.
Fight ito. Nakuha agad nila yung damage dito. Nakuha agad nila yung kill. Gadush Tinzao. Now he's down. This is gonna be a 4v4 fight, which is not what they want. They got the kill already with Tornado, and now this is gonna be an easy Ocean Drake take. And wala sila. It's just a 2v4. So this is just big advantages already sa Digital Giants. Nakuha nila yung Herald. Nakuha pa nila yung Drake.
So ito na nga pinapakita na nila ang kanilang team composition, which is yung poke yung Sinjaw, walang makalapit. Every time na gusto lumapit yung Rakan, gusto lumapit yung Sinjaw, pinagbabaton lang sila ng Sinj, piniplay ng Thresh, may the box. Di sila makalapit, especially with their flashes down. So what the PYL needs to do here is a flank. Kailangan nila makalikod sa backline kasi if they go for a front 5v5, I think di sila makakasok based sa state ng game. Kasi yung items ng Ziggs, items ng Corki, online na eh. May items to, masakit na yung pupuk nila. Unlike kanina, medyo hindi pa ganun kasakit.
Okay, yun talaga yung gusto nila eh. Ito na yung items nung Ziggs, ito na yung items ng Corki, lumalabas na yung damage nila. Tornado and Xiaoyu have been getting a lot of this priority all over them kasi malaki na yung gold nila at this point in the game. 6k gold lead on a late game composition. Pylon Cerberus needed to take the Drakes para magkaroon sila ng stats panlaban man lang sa URS, pero dahil hindi nila nakuha yun, this is gonna be a hard game for them.
Yes, so going to the late game, lamang na lamang yung composition ng DG kasi CRB going for a more early game team fight all-in composition, which is di nila nagawa effectively, which is why nakalabang tong DG, and I think Jace is sa pinakamalaking factor dito kasi na-hold niya yung sarili niya and malaki ang pressure na binibigay niya.
Nakakuha lang siya ng priority all around him, pero yung hook na yun could have been crazy if he went in. Pero that's a Sinzao. Pag nag-crescent guard siya, mawawala yung damage nila. So they played it safe. Pero itong top side, nakikita naman natin all over the map, they're trying to take objectives sa rebotting. Gusto nilang kunin yung kill kay Summit. It's a 3v1, but he was able to run away, was able to use flash, and because of that, mamamatay siya, yes. Pero look at mid lane and top lane. They're taking the towers from mid lane, top lane, and makukuha ata nila to without any contest. They went in, they got the kill, pero hindi pa rin nila makukuha yung kill dito kay
Really?
and that's gonna be it. They were able to take the tower, pero kailangan nila mag-flash away just because of that, and match-chase pa ata dito yung Corki. This is not gonna be good. That's gonna be the knock-up. Won't be able to hit on the backline. Ball is on the back, pero nakuha agad siya. The kill was there, pero ito low HPs on all the members of DG. They were overstepping their bounds, and they're losing their lives one by one. That's a 4-for-1 in favor of Pylon.
So it was good na ni Jace na naging ally para mapag-buy time sa team niya. Pero ang mali dito ng Digital Giants is that tinry nila i-force patayin yung Sinjaw, and yung Sinjaw nakabuy ng enough time para makahabol tong team ng CRB. So at the start of the team fight, wala na agad buhay ng Corki kasi tinatangke niya yung tower, and naubusan na ng tools ng DG para mapag-kite na maayos kasi lahat ng resources nila ginamit nila sa tower. Pero another fight dito sa mid lane. Wow!
Wow, the damage!
1 HP. Oy!
Grabe naman! Meron pa shock blast na kasama nga yun! That's gonna be 2-0! That's gonna be the call! Rebenga, pwede na nila kunin yung Baron dito.
Oo nga, so I think CRB nag-overextend.
Oh no!
Back-to-back. Overextend by both teams. And I think DG will be the one starting the Baron instead.
Yun na. Talaga. Could have been a chance ko, Rebenga, na pwede sanang bumawi na yung Pylon Cerberus during that time. Pero dahil half HP nila, tinry nila i-take yung mid lane. And remember, ang daming pera ni Hysteresis, so his damage would hurt talaga. And nakita naman natin yun, and they were able to take the Baron just because of it.
Yeah, so lahat ng members dito ng DJ is masakit na in the sense na if you let one of them free hit, talagang masasaktan ka talaga. And looking at the items of the Kha'Zix, tamang shopping lang, so buuing for the Mortal Reminder. 4 na yung item niya, even though tanke, even though maraming frontline tong lineup, maramdaman talaga ng damage ng Kha'Zix at the state of the game.
Yan, yun na nga talaga yung kailangan natin makita. And eto, ano yung pwede nila kaya gawin dito for the side of Pylon Cerberus? Kasi they lost a lot of towers already. Wala na silang pwedeng gawin kundi hintayin nila, i-wait out nila yung Baronet. Pero what do you think should be happening? Ito ata yung gusto nila gawin. Ito, Charm and Grand Entrance onto the backline. It's a good thing they had the stasis. Pero dahil grounded sila, that's gonna be 2 kills already. And that's gonna be it. Ito yung kailangan nila gawin ni Banga. They got 2 kills. They can hold this off.
Yeah, so medyo mag-greedy yung ginawa ng Digital Giants. Di sila nagsama-sama even though, sakit talaga ng Lucian very low, but top lane basag na. Sakit na rin yung Jace. Kha'Zix split the bot.
Oo, ito, kinukuha nila dito sa top side. Papatay nata nila sa Summit sa top lane pero may flash siya kaya hindi nila ma-finish off yung kill against it. They were already able to take the inhibitor turret sa top side. So that's a big W. That's a big win already sa side ng Digital Giants dito. Kailangan nilang i-wait out to. Pero ito, nakikita natin si Kuya Paul. Aggressive na naman. Wala siyang Cyclone. So hindi nila kaya talaga mag-contest at this point in the game. Pero ito, nakikita natin si Smeb. Gusto niya pumasok. Gusto niya ma-slow down. Itong si Xiao Yu. Pero mahahabol niya kaya ito si Xiao Yu. The flash is there. And the flank to the Grand Entrance. And that's gonna be it. They're taking shutdown goals. Very smart for their team. Pero ito ata si Kha'Zix. Okay, buti na lang. Hindi siya wala.
So this is sobrang risky ginawa ng Digital Devils kasi nag 3-man lang sila kahit patay yung dalawang members nila. They still tried to push, and kung naubos sila doon, there was a chance na pwede makuha ng Pylon Esports yung Elder, and ang ginagawa nila dito is pinapull nila Elder kasi they're a man down, and this is one of the best opportunities ng Pylon Esports para force the team fight. Uy, medyo nabangga siya doon.
Uy,
napaganda. Buti nabangga siya.
Patay ata siya dun. Patay ata siya dun. Hindi siya nabangga doon. Pero ito nakita natin low HP, half HP yung members of Pylon Cerberus. Kaya if ever papasok sila, hindi ito magandang fight para sa kanila. Nakuha nila Elder Cloud Drake. This is not the time for Pylon Cerberus to be fighting here. Kasi look at that. The backline, they have the damage. They won't be able to chase them out. Look at this. They're losing their lives. A 1-for-1 already. Pero nakuha nila yung kill dito kay Kuya Paul. Wala na silang frontline. Make that 3. Wala na silang dalawang frontline on their side. They don't have enough damage to sustain this next fight is gonna happen kasi it's a 4v2 na lang.
Yes, so I think ito na yata pagtatapos is Kuya Shelly na namatay pa yung Xin Chao. With that, the lane is open, wala na silang hours. Oops, flashing in na lang. And that will be the ace.
And that's gonna be an ace. And this is gonna be the game for Digital Giants. The way that they moved around the map was so good. Honestly, very respectable yung ginawa dito ng Digital Giants. Ang ganda ng pag-sustain nila sa early game to late game. They were able to, sila yung nag-set nung phase nung game. And that is what you want to happen when you have a late game champion like Corki and Ziggs on your side. And sa tingin natin, Rebecca, ano kayang pwedeng gawin pa ginawa sana ng Pylon Cerberus during that game?
I think yung early game talaga ng Pylon Cerberus is yung pinaka-importanting part, especially pag lumabas ng unang objectives. Kasi lamang na lamang sila sa compositions. Pero ang nangyari is nag-force sila ng teamfight, I think sa bottom side yun. And nagamit nila lahat ng ultimate sila. So pagdating ng first objectives, wala na silang tools para lumaban. Meanwhile, dito naman sa DG, meron silang package, dami na sa pangkite. Naubusan ng engage yung Pylon Esports, kaya nakapag-buy time yung DG na mapag-scale ng maayos and hindi na push ng PYL ang kanilang advantage when it comes to the early game. So napag-free scale, and kung nakita mo pag napag-scale Corki tsaka Ziggs, napakahirap talaga.
Yun talaga Pag nakapag-scale yung Corki tsaka Ziggs, yun yung nakakatakot kasi their damage is just so much. So much talaga yung damage nila. And yung the way that they played it sana, ito na yung chance na yun, yung nakikita natin sa replay natin na nakuha sila ng 2 kills. If they just held that off, they have been patient sa mga gagawin nila, could have been good. Could have been a chance para makapag-comeback sila sa game na yan.
Yes, so yung mga ganyan klaseng team fights ang dapat nilang ganawa sa early game. Kaso nga lang, kung kailan tapos na yung game, doon lang nila nagawa yung mga trades na pinipitas nila yung side lane, kung sino nakahiwalay. So it was too late, and at this stage of the day, even though nakaka-pick off sila, nakuha na nila yung DG yung mga kailangan nila na objectives and yung items para ma-secure yung game.
Yeah, and yun talaga yung gusto rin nilang gawin. And yun na nga, the objectives has been taken by Digital Giants sa early game, and which is not ideal when you're fighting against a team like this. Ang laki lang talaga nung naging pressure ni Hysteresis nung game na yun just because nakakuha siya ng early game kills on his side, no? Kaya when it came to the objectives, siya na yung nag-set ng facing kung paano mangyayari yung pag-take nila ng objectives, paano sila makakuha nun. And that is the most important thing, especially for junglers. Lalo na parang si idol natin si Rebenga na jungler main talaga. Yun talaga yung pinaka-importante, yung makapag-set sila ng face sa early stages ng game.
So I think draft-wise, okay naman yung drafting ng POL. It's
True.
all about the
True.
execution. So if they want to opt to the same kind of draft or they want to play it a bit safer, they could go for a more late game oriented if di sila confident na kaya nila maging as aggressive early game.
Totoo. Yun lang talaga yung kailangan nilang gawin. Pero before that, even before we continue for the next game, everyone, still, it's a best of 3. At dito na tayo sa playoffs natin na makikita natin kung sino matatanggal sa kanila pareho and sino magsistay para makapag-compete dun sa Grand Finals. And makikita natin sila live at Conquest 2022 on July 23. Kaya guys, check that out. Especially Conquest, punta tayo lahat para panoorin at suportahan yung mga teams natin for Wild Rift. And don't forget, the Alliance Games wouldn't be a thing without our amazing sponsors and partners. Alliance Games is co-presented by Globe Telecom, our official telco sponsor. And also, the top 5 on the Alliance leaderboards will receive an AcadArena scholarship and aid ASA listing exclusive to their campus students worth 30,000 pesos. And back to our game, something na pwede siguro baguhin ng Pylon Cerberus dito, kailangan nila mag-stick dun sa objective ng drop nila. Like yung kanina, Rebenga, nakita natin, early game should have been their playground kasi they don't really need a lot of items in their early game. Kahit first item, second item lang, mag-accelerate na mga champions sila, pero they weren't able to do that. Siguro, changing it in a way na mas safe yung early game nila could be an answer for Pylon Cerberus.
It depends on the draft. So they could also change the draft na tanggalin nila yung mga late game scaling or it depends sa mangyayari dito. Pag napunta yung Pylon Cerberus sa red side, ang pwede gawin ng Pylon Cerberus, sige, we'll take your draft. Amin naman yung Corky Zigs. Time bomb naman kayo. Kayo kailangan gumawa ng play early game para makalamang sa game. Kasi pag wala kayong ginawa early game, makapag-skill kami na maayos, no problem, and then, ayun, lalamang kami na pagdating sa later stages of the game.
Yeah, yun talaga yung mga scaling natin. And sinabi rin naman ni Coach Rick during the last time na nagcast kami, the meta is very late game centric talaga. Kasi the longer the game goes, yung mga champion na pinuput out nila, especially yung mga late game champions, mga ADCs, mga Corky, mga Ziggs, they're strong. They're super strong. Unless there's a way for you to accelerate the game in your favor na yung early game pa lang, hindi nila maaabot yung 20 or at least 16-minute mark. That is the time na pwede mag-shine yung mga early game composition. So, yun yung mga nakakatakot dito. Pero, ang gusto ko lang sana makita during our games dito, kasi even in Icons, hindi natin nakikita yung Karma tsaka Yumi kasi every time binaban sila sa first rotation pa lang. Sana naman makita natin sila dito no sa ating collegiate games.
Actually, Karma, Yumi, nagpakita isa-isa tapos wala na. Pag
wala na ulit.
nagpakita na isang beses, wala na. Okay, never mind. Ban ulit natin yan. Tanggalin natin.
Oo nga eh. Sobrang annoying kasi especially itong mga nag-e-enable sa mga carry nila. No? Especially yung Karma Yumi, the speed up ng mga heals nila is enough para makapag-disrupt ng mga fights eh. Kaya, hindi na talaga tayo makakita ng mga enchanters dito. I mean, makikita natin siguro yung Lulu or Nami pero not the Karma Yumi. Kaya, unfortunate, pero sana makaslip up sila a bit dito sa susunod na games natin.
Pero I think this is match point na rin para sa Digital Giants. So, Pylon, kumbaga last chance na nila to para makabawi since they're down. This is currently the lower bracket and then they're down 1 game. So, kung may kailangan silang ipalabas, kailangan nila ipalabas ngayon. Kundi, it's gonna be their last game of the season, kumbaga.
Yun talaga eh. Kailangan nila tignan or at least iban yung mga champions na meron sila a while ago na sa tingin nila hindi nila masasagot right now. So mga nakita natin, same bans, we're seeing a Renekton on the first rotation. The Senna, ayaw talaga nila makita. There's a lot of compositions kasi na could rotate around the Senna kaya ayaw talaga nila makita sa side ng Digital Giants yun.
So I think they're still opting of the same side. So tama ba? Digital Giants going for the red side pa din and then dito naman sa Pylon Cerberus gusto pa rin nila blue side. So most likely we would be seeing adjustments pagdating sa picking ng champions kasi so far when checking the bans I think this will be the same bans if I'm not mistaken. Karma yung last ban itong Digital Giants. So let's see kung anong gagawin nila. Okay, so same bans.
Yan! Okay. Makita rin natin yung same bans for both of our sides. And yung Karma and Ari, talagang respect pa rin sila. Dahil first pick pa rin yung side ng Pylon Cerberus, they wanna still work out with the Lucian. Kaya, this might be, sana baguhin nila yung the way they use the Lucian for this game. Kasi at least, kanina, the ADC wasn't able to work. Maybe put it in mid, put it on top. If ever ilalabas pa rin ng Digital Giants yung Jace and Ziggs sa kanilang first rotation.
So I think they're both running it back unless DG wants to change their draft a bit. I think para sa akin yung pylon yung kailangan mag-adjust ng konti. DG is happy with their scaling composition na maraming wave clear with the zigs
Mhm.
and then playing it a bit safe. Play for the Jace pa sa early game and then
Yes.
let the Jace carry the early to mid and then pagdating sa mid to late, doon na mag-shine yung zigs tsaka yung Corki nila.
Yeah, tuloy tayo sa Hullbreaker Jace na makikita natin for sure dito sa side ng Digital Giants, which is kind of scary kanina. The damage that he dealt, especially yung mga shock blast niya during the late game, was enough para ma-take yung half ng HP ng mga members ng Pylon servers. But that's just because he had the advantage yung early. I hope na meron sila itapat dito sa Jace na pwede ring humawak ng Hullbreaker para at least medyo equal sila on footing in lane. Pero ito, same things na nakikita natin dito, Rebenga.
Oo nga. So,
Same pa rin.
I think based sa compositions, I think Pylon still has a strong composition para lang mapasaktan tong poke lineup because they know what they're
Mm,
expecting na eh. So meron na
yeah.
naman silang yung Wukong Rakan. I think so far, maganda naman yung combination with a lot of early game, a lot of engage, but it would boil down talaga to the execution on how they would be able to use their skills para makapasok
Yeah.
sa isang team fight.
Yeah, yun talaga. Yun talaga yung gusto kong makita dito, especially with the team fights. Hindi lang nasa first rotation yung bukong natin na kanina nandun sa side ng Pylon Cerberus, but I think we're gonna be seeing the same composition here. The Sinzao probably is gonna be out and papalitan nila si Smeb na would go for the Wukong instead rather than going
Yes.
for the Sinzao. Kaya yun yung tinitignan nila if ever that would work out. And yung second rotation of picks natin would be how they would put this composition in na workable for their side. I hope, nakikita ko if ever they pick a Z against this poke lineup, could be a good one, especially for the Ziggs para hindi siya makapag-poke out.
Yeah, so knowing the compositions, most likely ang gagawin ng Pilot Esports dito is hindi na nila ilalagay yung Wukong sa Baron Lane kasi nahirapan siya sa Jace eh. So they need a champion na kayang tumapat sa Jace in a sense na hindi siya malulugi at mababasag yung Torre. Isang champion na pumunta sa isip ko is Shen. Napagod ng Shen dito.
Totoo.
Or engage. Pag pumasok yung Rakan, Wukong, pwede mag-ulti yung Shen and then kaya niya mag-hold sa Jace.
Yeah.
Mahirapan lang siya. Mapupush lang siya sa early game pero once na dumating sa team fights, doon siya mag-shine.
So
Kha'Zix ban as well. So
I can see a Garen, if ever.
Garen is also another possible
very safe
champion.
pick. Yeah, if ever meron silang ganun and you put Hullbreaker on the Garen, then could be a good pick against the side ng Digital Giants kasi at least the Garen could have easy access to the backline even though na, kasi nga bakunat nga siya, has the way to finish off targets. Yun rin yung nakulangan kanina yung Pylon Cerberus eh. They don't have someone to finish off the targets. And that could be the Garen here for their side.
Okay, so DG going for the same composition. So, ang magbabago lang dito is yung kanilang jungle which is binan ng Pylon, Kha'Zix. So, DG would have to look for another jungle which would probably fulfill the same role, kumbaga, sa Kha'Zix, or they could just go for a more teamfight-oriented composition, like go for a jungler or a carry. So here, Camille is open
there
dito.
You go.
There's another great choice.
Yeah, that's great. Especially on the top side, no, if ever makakapag-farm itong Camille against the Jace, could be good kasi at least they have the late game threat of a Camille and also finding a way para makakuha ng backline nila sa side ng Digital Giants. Doon rin nakulangan eh. Kanina yung Pylon Cerberus. If ever, dagdagan pa nila to.
Galio. Even more engaged. Okay.
Ito yung Venn diagram eh. Yung X-Tech ultimatum to the hero's entrance. So, makikita natin yun in action this game.
So, I think nagkamali dito yung Digital Giants kasi di sila nag-last ban eh. Kasi last game, last ban nila Camille.
Yes.
And then ngayon, ayaw ko kung ano nangyayari. So, di sila nakapag-ban. So, na-open yung Camille and here, Hysterics going for the Lee Sin instead, which is a great answer para sa Camille, para matipa niya once the Hex ultimatum.
Yeah, para hindi rin magandang positioning ng hero sentence if ever i-click ito ng mid lane nila to the side of Pylon Cerberus. So if ever Digital Giants need something here, pwede nila gawin yung ginawa rin nila kanina. With the Lee Sin, the early game advantage that they would have could be great kasi alam naman natin, Lee Sin is great at the early game. Si Kha'Zix lang most likely Kha'Zix or Olaf most likely makakatapas sa kanila, which is not available in our game right now.
So I think makikita tayo na Rakan mid. Nakita natin to sa RRQ. So
Pylon
Esports looking to do the same. kumbaga.
Oh,
So, under do or die game, they show the Rakan mid.
really?
Ay, joke lang pala. It's a prank. I thought,
Okay, it's a prank.
na-excite na ako
Could have been
slightly.
it.
No, could have been it. Pero Galio mid is still a solid pick, ah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sobrang sakit na ng kanyang damage. Even
Yep.
though na-nerf yung kanyang taunt range, his AP ratios have been buffed.
Yep.
And more of a burst champion na siya, kumbaga.
Yeah. Ang mahirap lang sa Galio whenever it comes down to it is yung the Galio does have the damage pero after nung first rotation ng skills niya, ang tagal nung cooldown which is usually the problem of the Galio. Kaya kailangan when you use it, you're on point. If ever magawa nila yon sa side ng Pylon Cerberus, ang dami nilang AoE na pwedeng paggamitan nito. The Grand Entrance, meron pa silang Heroes, daming entrance, may Heroes Entrance pa. Pag nagamit nila yung mga AoE na yon, Digital Giants, mahihirapan sila mag-weave around the fight. Kaya kailangan lang gawin ng Pylon Cerberus yun.
So, another strong early game composition, lalo na dito para sa Pylon Cerberus because habang wala pang stasis yung mga backline na to, katulad ng Ziggs, Corki, tsaka Jace,
yes,
almost no way sila makatakas once na makuli sila ng Grand Entrance, Hexacle Culminatum, even the Cyclone. Hindi sapat yung sipa ng Lee Sin doon, 4 yung mag-engage sa inyo.
True.
So,
True.
Lucian, tapos ang gagawin lang ng Lucian, tamang cleanup lang, strong, very strong early game. So, very execution-based yung composition ng Pylon Cerberus because team dependent yung comp nila. If they're hit and miss sila, if their ultimates all connect, sa team fights, sure win, sabog. Pero kapag nagkamali, nagamit, on-sync, nako, makakakite sila doon.
Sila yata isasabog pag hindi nila.
Parang gano'n na ngayon mangyayari.
Kaya ang problema dito sa side nga ng Pylon Cerberus, there's only a small margin of error lang yung composition nila. Pag nagkamali sila, that would be so hard kasi very dependent sila sa mga ultimate nila. Pero in Digital Giants, as you said, pwede sila mag-kite out lang sa side ng Pylon Cerberus. Pero yun yung kailangan nila gawin, especially do sa first objective natin na most of the time, it's a 5v5 fight. Kaya yun yung magsa-set apart ng teams natin from each other.
Yeah, so I think mag-start na tayo. Uy, nag-time na tayo. Time skip 1 minute into the game.
Yes.
So we're having a Rakan mid. So it is a Rakan mid. Ayan.
Let's go!
Okay, let's go!
Let's go! Makita natin yung mga nakikita natin kay Kuya Helios ng icons, no? So, this is interesting. Kasi when it comes to the Rakan, the damage of Rakan sa backline lalo na, pag ginagawa niya yung AP Rakan in the mid lane, ang lakas sobra. Nakakapag-burst down siya ng backline sobra-sobra. Pero ito, nakita natin, there's a fight already. Wow. Exhaust has been popped. Pero ito, backline was able to take them down already. First blood to side ng Pylon Cerberus. Pero makuha pa ata sila na isa. Make that 2. And wala sila makuha kapalit. Nakuha pa na smite para makapag-heal. Hindi tumama yung Sonic Wave. And that's a 3-4-0 agad sa side ng Pylon Cerberus.
So I think DG very greedy na kinontest nila yung Wukong sa Scuttler even though wala doon yung Lee Sin. So tinry nila mag-buy time pero nabaliktad yun. And with CRB, a lot of CC in their compositions, nahuli nila yung Corki pati yung Thresh, and then nadamay-damay na lahat, pa isa-isa, pumasok yung Ziggs, pumasok yung Lee Sin, and then, nag-collapse. And this is the lead na kailangan ng Pylon Esports para makabawi sa game na to.
Yeah. Even during the last UAC, no, kasi Division B on Digital Giants, I have seen a lot of promise from this team. Pero Pylon Cerberus, they were playing sa Division A together with the strongest teams ng UAC. And nakikita natin dito, they know how to adapt when it comes down to it. And nakikita natin dito during the game, 3-4-0 agad sila. They have the advantage against Digital Giants. Kailangan lang nila panghawakan and wag na nila bitawan yung early game advantage na to.
Yeah, so opposite to sa nangyari ng last game kasi ng last game medyo lamang yung Digital Giants especially pagdating sa Jace lane. Ngayon, na pag-trade lang tong Jace Camille. If you could see, I think nag-trade sila ng spells sa walang namatay. And Lee Sin looking for a gank dito sa bot, but CRB respecting the lane. Di sila naging aggressive.
Yeah. And ito, nakita natin. Another aggressive play from DJ. Gusto nila kunin tong tinatry nila i-take yung Krugs nila on their side. Pero makakapag-back away ba sila? Nakuha yung taunt. Oh, no shield of Duran. And that's gonna be the hook para at least i-save siya. It's not enough. The Grand Entrance was there. And that's gonna be it. Another 1 kill for Pylon. And they're gonna get more. They want to get kill. Pero nakapag-exhaust sila on their side. 1 HP. Pero to, gusto pa ata nila mag-dive kasi look at this. They have the Wukong on the backside. If ever they want to get the kill, inihintay lang nila magkaroon ng wave. Pero would that be enough time though? Nandito na. Pati yung Ziggs. Pero parang makikita niya ata dito yung Wukong on his side. Kaya kailangan niya mag-back
Oo nga
away.
lang
Siya
yung
na yung
Ziggs
naging
out of
target. That's
position.
gonna be the Cyclone. Hindi ata gusto nila yung position na to. That's gonna be the Flash on their side. Pero naiwan mag-isa yung Wukong. Would this be enough? The Hero's entrance would be there. Would be able to hit and not enough to actually get the kill.
Flash
Flash
kill,
in!
no!
And that's gonna be the phosphorus bomb to get it
Lee Sin?
with the Dragon's Rage. Kinik nila and nakuha pa yung safe play sa side ng Pylon Cerberus. They still got a 1-for-1 out of that fight.
So at least decent, I think medyo na hype tong PYL na gusto lang i-dive and sobrang layo pa ng creep wave and it gave enough time para makabalik tong Ziggs, tong Lee Sin tsaka yung Corki para maka-backup. And
Wow.
luckily enough na hindi siya ganun ka-disaster.
True.
Nakapag-trade pa sila 1-for-1. It could have went worse.
Yes.
Especially with Rakan na 1 HP na lang and then yung Lucian na napatay pa niya yung Lee Sin.
Konting mistake lang with the calculation pero paano topside meron mali ata sa calculation dito, hindi ata in-expect ni Summit yung gank from Draken on the top side, and that is gonna be good kasi at least na-burn nila yung flash ni Summit before the Rift Herald comes out, so this is gonna be big for Pylon.
Yes, so the good rotation dito para kay Draken. Nakapunta na siya sa top to try to relieve some pressure dito sa Camille with the objectives now spawning. Kinuha na ng Corki kanyang package and look at the ultimates of Pylon. It's almost all up. Kumbaga, yung Wukong na lang patapos na pati yung Camille. So all of their ultimates are up. So if I am Pylon Esports, I'll be a lot
Uy.
more confident when it comes to the objectives.
Yeah, they're not starting anything just yet, no? Itong Cloud Drake, nakikita natin dito sa bottom side ng mapa natin. Tinatry na i-start ng URS. I hope that we see that. There you go. There is gonna be the fight here for sure. Merong heroes, ay wala pang heroes entrance. Si Draken dito sa top side, ay sa fight na to. So this is
Engage.
gonna be good. The grand entrance, the
Ganda.
quickness, it's just enough damage to get over the shield of Duran. They got the kill on his terraces. Wala na silang smite. This is gonna be good for them. But they got the kill, a 2-for-0. Are they gonna be able to get the kill here? That's gonna be good. At least it's a 3-for-3 in their favor. Make that 4. Susunod si Wukong dun sa grave.
Pero at the
And
top
that's a
side,
triple kill for Summit, but that's a tower on the top side, as Rebenga said.
so I think para sa akin, if I was DJ, I'd take this trade kasi marami sila
Yes.
nakuhang kill.
Napagkait lang si Tornado sa gilid eh. Kaya, eto, hindi pa rin tayo tapos sa objective natin, Rebenga. Meron na naman tayong fight for sure after this.
Yes, so there will be a round 2 but the difference here
Yes.
is that wala nang ultimates tong team ng
Yes.
CRB. Ang meron lang is yung ultimate ni Kuya Fall, but I don't think that will be enough. Pero we
Kuya
have to
Fall.
see on how the initiation goes.
Uy, hindi nila
Ay, so
kinontas.
ayaw. So,
Oo, hindi nila
tama.
i-contest. Kukunin nila yung Rift Herald, pero may time yung Digital Giants para mag-rotate
Yung
din eh.
finally
Would
contest.
they
So it's
go
a
for
bit
it?
late.
Pupunta pa
Oo,
sila.
so
Oo.
medyo late ang decision making, masyadong last minute, but I think they will still be able to take it. Oh, nakuha na nila. So safe.
Good
So
thing,
good.
good thing. Akala ko magkaka-round 2 pa tayo dun sa
Almost.
laban na yun eh.
Oo,
Kasi if
medyo
ever,
walang vision kasi kaya medyo natakot yung Digital Giants para
true.
mag-face check doon.
No, pero ito, nakita natin, Hexag
Engage.
Ultimatum, meron nakasamang Heroes Entrance agad dito. Pataya agad to for sure. Summit is down. They have the damage with the Mega Inferno Bomb, pero they're not gonna continue for the fight. Kasi look at this. Digital Giants, ayaw na nila magkaroon ng more damage after that kill already.
Oo nga. So, ayun na nga, nung nag-up yung ultimate, immediately go into the Jace. So, Jace, once na mapag-ulti Camille, pumasok na rin yung Galio, Wukong, everyone just goes in, collapse on the Jace. Good news is para sa Digital Giants, isa lang namatay despite na nag-connect yung combo nila. And there's still a chance na makakapag-comeback sila. So if you look at the gold, hindi
Yes.
sila hindi gaano kalamang yung PYL as compared to DG. So 2K is decent gold
Yes.
para sa DG and I'll take it because I still have the better scaling composition.
Yeah, and especially nakuha pa nila yung Cloud Drake, they can move around faster talaga. When it comes to rotations, that would be important for the side ng Digital Giants, no? So, etong Pylon Cerberus, unti-unti nang ma-outscale sila dito ng URS. It's a good thing they have the Camille. At least they have damage for the Camille later on. Pero sa tingin natin dito, makikita natin Digital Giants, as you said, they have the better scaling composition. And if ever tumagal pa tong game na to, I hope Pylon finds a way to accelerate this game and decelerate the power spikes ng URS.
Yes,
Pero
so
to,
nakita nila dito, basag the tower, and maganda ginagawa ng Lee Sin dito kasi alam nila nasa Jace yung lahat ng gold nila. If you look at the gold,
True.
Jace yung pinakamayaman with 7.8k, tapos ang kasunod na is already mga 6.7k yung Lucian. So, napakalaki. Medyo malaki ang gold lead ng Jace and it's something na pwedeng pitan ng Digital Giants while nakapag-scale tong Corki pati yung Ziggs.
Yeah, especially pag nag-invest ka na nun, parang i-withdraw mo na lang later on yung mga in-invest mo kay Summit. So, yun yung maganda dito. So, sa side ng URS, kasi at least they know who to invest in. Kasi, for sure naman, Xiaoyu and Tornado would find a way to wave clear,
Mm.
try to take some gold for them. Kaya, ito, Pylon Cerberus needs to know where to put their pressure in. Kasi right now, nagsispread out yung mga carries natin sa side ng Digital Giants. Kaya, may kailangan sila ditong tanggalan ng acceleration ng items. Kaya, they need to decide right now. Kasi as long as the game goes, lumalapit tayo dun sa deadline ng pylon dito.
Kumbaga, yung URS nakakabawi na sila. If you look at the gold, 500 gold na lang based dahil sa Torre na yan. So, it's PYL. They need to look for a fight, especially na para sa akin, if kung ikaw yung PYL, once na mag-up yung ulti yung lahat, you have to look
Yes.
for a fight. Kasi, para sayang yung oras kung mag-stalemate lang kayo dito, and I think ito na yung gusto nila gawin. Huli na yung Ziggs.
Oh, eto meron silang quickness, meron pang grand entrance
Yes,
dito, nakuha yung satchel charge, pero nakapag-flash out siya. And Asteris was there to help him out, pero hindi yata siya nakakuha ng tamang timing dito. May kasama pang ang Hero's entrance to the backside, nakapag-flash pa ito. Nakita natin dito sa backline, tumatama si Asteris, wala na siyang kick, pero nandito na, here comes the fray, here comes the party, and that's gonna be it. At least nakakuha sila ng 1-for-1 in favor dito. Sa side pa rin, ng both of our teams.
Yeah, so I think ng Lee Sin, hindi siya
Oo nga eh.
na-inform na nandun na yung Rakan na na-engage. Pero here, we have a fight
Oh.
on the mid. 1 HP na lang tong si Tero. I think nakapag-hook tong si Kira. And
Yes.
we look at
Yun yung replay,
replay. Medyo naguluhan. Mayroon wukong sa gilid. And
Yep.
at least nakapagpatay. Kaso it's not the kills that you want if you are dito sa PYL. Kasi yung Lee Sin, if you look at us, 0-5 na yata siya. So hindi na ganun
Totoo.
yung matas yung bounty, and kahit mapatay at mapatay nyo yung Lee Sin, wala masyadong mangyayari. Oh, another fight, mid lane. So
It's just gonna be a
na
distraction,
nangyari
no?
yung
At this point. Kasi si
oo.
Lee Since doesn't have anything anymore. Wala na siya masyadong bounties sa head niya. Kaya if ever makuha nila yung kill, mas maganda na mag-play safe na lang sila kasi Lee Sin doesn't have any value anymore for them. Ref Herald is up. Medyo malilate ata yung pylon dito pero dahil low HP yung DG, hindi nila makukuha agad ito.
Yeah, so ang Lee Sin dito, taga-alay, taga-salo ng skills. If nasalo niya yung ulti ng Rakan or ulti ng Camille, it's better na mapunta siya ng Lee Sin kaysa naman mapunta doon sa Jace, sa Corki, or sa Ziggs. So, ganun ang ginagawa nila. And with the Dragon spawning, I think this will be another big clash. Let's see kung anong gagawin ng DG. If you check their items, may stasis na yung LS, may stasis na yung Jace, yung Ziggs going for the Twin Shadows, which is very key, kumbaga. Kasi pag napuli siya ng Camille, automatic, mawawala
He's
agad
dead.
yan.
He's dead for sure. Pero ito sa nakikita natin dito, Rebenga, no? Ito, Mountain Drake is gonna be up. Wala pang kumuha ng Ref Herald. So, nagtitake time yung teams natin para hindi sila mag-make mistake. Pero dahil nagtitake sila ng time, look at the 11k gold na meron si Summit and yung ginagawa
nasa
niya sa
Torre
top
siya.
lane.
Basag with the hull
Kukunin niya
breaker.
na,
Ayun, basag na.
yan. Pag hindi sila nag-react dito, makukuha pa niya yung third tower. It's a good thing nag-back si Kuya Fall. Pero enough ba siya? Kasi look at this. They wanna go for a fight here. They have that package. Remember, yung red carpet nandito. Naghihintay pero nagamit niya yung Valkyrie doon sa likod. Nagkamali ata siya pero ito nakuha nila yung backline. Mountain Dragon has been taken by the Pilot Server side. Heroes entrance to safety. Etong si Draken. Kaya makakapag-back nila sila dito sa fight na to. Pero si Kuya Fall na left alone ata. 1 versus 3. Pero makakuha ba sila dito ng value? Hindi ata. Kasi look at that. Oh,
Nice
the flash has been used. Good thing. Nakapag-dodge sila. Wala silang nakuha kill on this side.
Oh,
Gusto pa nila nag-Valkyrie in. Oh no, Tornado. Parang sumabog yung buhawi pero ito pumapasok pa with the double kill onto Summit. They want to get the kill on Kuya Fall and that's not gonna be 1 HP. Hindi pa nila nakuha yung kill doon sa backside. 3 for 1 in favor of TG. Kala ko pylon nyo may advantage. DG pala.
Yes, so anong nangyari doon is yung Jace, since naka-stasis siya, hindi agad siya nakapag-respo sa teamfight. So nauna yung Camille and nakapitas sila. Good job sa DG na nakapag-kite sila sa that long for the Jace to arrive. Kung titignan mo, galing pa base yung Jace, nagja-jogging-jogging pa, nakapag-kite pa tong DG. Oh. Wala silang mapatay and yung Corki, ewan ko, masyado yatang na-hype yung Corki. Gusto niya patayin yung kalaban, pero at least with the arrival of the Jace, napag-clean up and the trade na nila yung mga kills na nawala.
The Philippine Tornado. And ito, naku, yung kill kay Summit. Si Summit naman ata yung excitement, Rebenga. Kaya, ang laking shutdown gold dun sa side
so
ng
I think, kala niya makakatakas siya. Kaso nga lang, dahil sa lantern, kaso marami silang crowd control at di na siya nakagalaw. So, this will be Baron open. And let's see kung anong gagawin ng PY. Well, if
Chance
i
na nila 'to.
hmm,
Mhm.
kailangan
Big,
nila
big
take
chance 'to.
advantage, oo.
Oo, kasi wala yung Summit. Si Summit yung napakaraming pera, 14K gold
Nag-flash ba
yung
yun?
si
Okey.
Summit. Pero ito,
Ah,
wala pa sila. And dahil
medyo
nga
nagkamali yung I think gusto niya
si
mag-flash
Draken
kaso
'no?
nga lang nabangga
Oo.
yung kanyang flash, but it's okay, it
Ah,
happens.
aha.
Trying to make big plays, 'di lang pay off, but it's something
Sayang.
that you would want to see dito sa
True.
CRB is to try and force team fights lalo na 'pag wala pa yung Jace kaso he's already up.
I
4
like the
items
fact
by the way, oh, pa-item lang na siya.
I like the fact na 4 items na dito si Summit 'no. Sobrang
And
laki
yung
talaga ng gold lead niya and
and yung
hindi
mga tao
makahabol
pa parang
talaga.
ba't parang sobrang inflated ang gold nito, dalawang item pa lang if you look at the items ng CRB, dalawang item pa lang sila.
Totoo,
BF
totoo.
sword pa lang ta's ito 4 na buo. Sobrang yaman niya as compared to the opponent's 1K GPM,
True.
14K for 14K at 14 minutes.
Sobrang nag-enlarge yung gold lead ni Summit dito 'no. Kaya ang hirap, eh. Ang hirap tapatan even ni Kuya Fall dito sa bot lane sa side nila. Kasi hindi nila kaya i-1v1 'to, eh, for sure. That's a 4-item Jace. Kaya eto, yung threat ng Baron nasa DJ pa rin kasi kailangan nila mag-put ng someone dito sa bot side para tapatan itong si Jace. Kasi kundi, remember, Hullbreaker, pwedeng-pwedeng i-push yung inhibitor turret.
Pero one thing na puwede gawin ng CRB since they have a strong pick composition, puwede nila
Mhm.
saktan 'tong Jace, habang
True.
pumapwesto pa lang siya. Puwede nila i-3-man kaso nga lang the only drawback is a possibility of the Baron pero DG's Baron is not yet that fast. If you look at the
Uh-huh.
item build of the Corki, he went for a
Yes.
more defensive route. Hindi
Yep.
kung last game nag-crit build siya, ngayon went for the
Mhm.
Thunder Cleaver pati Storm Razor. So hindi pa siya
Yeah.
gano'n kasakit yung Corki and when it
Yeah.
comes to taking objectives.
Yeah, very supportive lang yung damage dito ni Corki. Especially when you pick the Black Cleaver, wala ka talaga masyadong damage. More on the supportive side ka para if ever mag-Gatling gun, tanggal agad yung armor nila with the Black Cleaver. Pero this is gonna be hard for URS without Summit on their fight. Kaya hindi rin sila makapag-start ng objectives. Eh. Naghahanap sila ng timing. Yes, may timing yung DG. Pero hindi nila makuha yung Baron just because nga, as Rebenga said, wala pa sila masyadong damage.
Yeah, so Scuttler is up. I think gusto lang kunin to ng DG and then what the DG wants to do is to try to poke their opponents, put them low since ang problema sa comp ng CRB is wala silang sustain. So once na
Yeah.
babatuan ng Corki, mabatuan ng Ziggs, mapoke ng Jace, kailangan nila umuwi para makuha yung balik yung buhay. And what DG wants to do, what PYL wants to do is to try to look for someone na mag-isa
Uy.
or mag-hard engage which is what they're trying to do now, I think. Yeah,
Oho,
Tuhong.
gusto nila to. Backside, nakuha agad yung Cyclone. Nakuha pa nila yung Shield of Durand onto the right target. And that's gonna be the one takedown already on their side. Kasama pang Hero's Entrance. So Kira, his status is down.
Nice
And Kira
lantern.
is gonna be able to get the Lantern onto them. A lot of damage on the side of Pylon. This would be enough for them to at least take the Baron after nagre-recall na si Kaizen kasi pwedeng-pwede na i-call yung Baron dito just because his status is out of commission.
Yes, pero ang problema dito kahit offline na yung Lee Sin, ang problema is yung position is still online. So I don't think na kayang enough yung damage ng CRB na para ma-burst nila yung Baron and with the Elder spawning in
True.
15
Okay.
seconds. So there might be another big team fight
Yeah.
in the next few minutes.
And remember, may package. Itong si Tornado. So that's gonna be big for the side of Digital Giants. Kailangan nila mag-decide kung ano yung priority nila kunin. Pylon, hindi sila pwede magbigay ng kahit na isa. Kahit makuha nila yung side, kailangan nila i-contest sa side ng URS. Kasi right now, nakita nila yung potential nila sa team fights. Kaya nila labanan yung URS at this point. Especially if hindi pa sila napopoke out.
So ang ginagawa na to DG is a 1-4 composition wherein magsa-split push yung
Uy.
Jace kasi kaalam niya kayang-kaya niya yung Camille, walang papalag sa
Mhm.
kanya eh. And then dito naman sa PYL, they're trying to look for some picks katulad ng ginawa nila kanina, no? Nahuli nila Corkin, ma-force ang team fight and hindi
Oh,
makapag-poke ng maayos tong DG.
delikado to yung positioning ng DG dito. They don't have vision on this part of the map. Kaya this is gonna be hard on the bottom side of the river. Pero ito nakita natin top side, no? Summit,
Yes,
nasa
nasa
tower na
oh,
siya.
basag na.
Tanggal niya na yung tower. Pero ito, kailangan nila mag-start ng fight. It's a good thing they were able to get the flay out to the hero's entrance. Sa
Wow.
backline, they got it. They got 2 down. And this is gonna be good. Pero wala pa sila na-take down. They don't have any damage just yet.
Physics.
They got the kill onto the Wukong. They got the kill onto the 6. They have a 1-for-1. This is gonna be good. For the side of DG, they have the damage. Somebody's down. This is gonna be it. Tornado might be able to take some skills together with him, but he's gonna be taken down too. The stasis is just there. Pero ito, nakuha nila kill. The
Corky's still
backside,
alive.
they take it down. Pero Tornado,
Ano siya?
nakakapag-kite pa. And that's gonna be a 4-for-4. The ADCs are still alive and strong and well sa both of sides ng team natin.
Grabe, sobrang close. Kumbaga, game of inches Akala ko na panalo na yung PYL doon kasi namatay na yung Ziggs tapos yung Jace
True.
medyo out of position na exhaust siya, napazone niya siya. Kaso nga lang ang nangyari is yung Lucian hinabol niya yata yung Lee Sin and then kahit pa yung Corki. Di ko alam kung paano pa nabuhay itong Corki. Literal na 1 HP na lang siya kahit pa napatay
True.
pa niya yung Camille pati yung Galio. It was a
Uh-huh.
3v1. 1 HP na lang yung Corki and that will be an even trade for both
Mm.
teams.
This could give Pylon some more confidence, no? Nakita nila dito, meron silang vision on this dragon.
Starting
Pagdating
though.
nila, half HP na tong si Tornado. Kaya this would be a big disadvantage for DG kasi
Mm.
wala nang HP to si Tornado bago mangyari tong fight na to. Nakikita nila to, they want to start it out, merong flash itong si Kaizen. So if ever pumasok siya dito, that would be good. The Grand Entrance is there.
Pero Ziggs
Pumunta
huli.
si backline,
Patay.
knock up yung Zik, Xiaoyu is down! And this would be the chance for Pylon to go for a fight here just because they popped the GA on the statuses. If the statuses falls, that would be good. Pero na-isolate yung fight. This is not good for Pylon. Hindi maganda yung fight na to. Heroes entrance onto the backline pero meron pa sila 3v3. They are isolating a lot of the members. They're kiting them out. Nate is still up.
Lucian,
His
1
status is
HP.
down on the low HP. They got the 1 HP onto the backline.
Patay.
Terry is down.
Camille.
Smite it down. And that's gonna be good. Silence. Tornado is here to make sure that the Rockets is in their faces. And Digital Giants,
Oh
naubos na
my
nila yung Pylon. And
gosh.
that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the ace for
GG.
DG. And this would be the winning push for URS.
Grabe ginawa ng DG doon. Literal, na-comeback nila yung team fight na yun, yung Ziggs namatay agad, wala siyang nagawa. And then, ang nangyari doon
Sayang.
is nag-split yung team fights. Yung Camille, wala siya doon kasi nagka-cover siya sa top side. So, it was a
Yes.
4v4 na nangyari dito. And yung Lucian, sobrang item lock. Dami na ng item. And
Sayang.
nahiwala yung Lucian. Kumbaga, walang tumulong sa kanya. And doon, ginamit ng Digital Giants yung kanilang yung Corki Lucian na ipagsuntukan with the Corki coming out on top and grabe yung Corki doon. Ang tagal niya nabuhay, lagi niya na-turn yung team fights.
Totoo. And sa nakita nating game na yun, no, Rebenga, there was a point in where Pylon could have been the winners of the game. Nakita
Multiple
naman natin
points.
during the
Dami
last
nga, oh.
during the
Lee Sin
last
nasa gilid
fight
siya.
ata, yun nga 1 HP na si Lee Sin doon, pumasok lang siya para smite si Ther yung pagpasok niya. Kaya yun talaga yung naging turning point ng fight na yun. Ang daming fights na panalo sana yung Pylon. It's a good thing na si Tornado nagsistay long for the fight pa. Kaya nakakapag-turn around pa sila ng mga laban na yun.
So I think it just goes to show kung nasulit yung build niya kasi going for the more Anki Corki with the Sunder, bayad na bayad yung life steal na nakuha niya sa Sunder and
Totoo.
even though nakapunta yung Camille, akala ko mataturn na naman yan kasi dumating yung Camille full HP, wala nang buhay itong DG eh. Wala siyang nagawa, na kahit lang may stasis pa yung Corki, may stasis pa yung Jace, and it's not enough, hindi pa rin enough kahit na napitas na lang yung Ziggs and dumating na yung Camille. Basically, nanalo yung DG 5v4.
Yeah, I thought nga that could have been enough for Pylon. Pero yung last fight, na-divide kasi yung fight nila, as you said, na-isolate si Ther, wala siyang kasama in front. They tried to get the kill on his terraces, which, as you said, Rebenga, it was not as important back then during those fights kasi even if they don't take the Elder Infernal Drake, pwede nila tapusin yung game eh. They wanted to take the kill on his terraces para wala silang smite if ever. Parang nag-isip sila ng possibility if his terraces is down, hindi nila makuha yung Drake. Pero dahil doon sa ginawa nila, na-isolate yung fight, nawala yung damage nila, which is Ther. And that was enough para matalo sila during that last fight. Sayang talaga, could have been. 2 games yon, could have been Pylon winning dahil sobrang close nung games natin all together.
Oo nga, so congratulations to Digital Giants. Kahit na natalo yung Pylon, sobrang ganda. I think yung closest AcadArena game na napanood ko so far. Kasi ang close eh, anyone's game yun. And PYL, kahit lamang sila early game, nakabawi Digital Giants to mid game. And then PYL with a great engage, laging may namuhuli Rakan dito. Ang lang is yung, kumbaga yung finishing touches na lang yung kulang eh. Kumbaga isang hampas na lang, tapos na yung game eh. Kaso nga lang, di nila nakukuha yun, yung last hit nga lang ba?
Yeah. Yun talaga yung, kumbaga, hindi lang talaga nila nakuha yung dapat na makuha nilang kill. And we said that during the drafting. Yun yung problema nila, nagkakaproblema sila when it comes to finishing the fights. And hindi nila nagagawa yan. And that has been an underlying problem for them. Pero sobrang close talaga ng game na yan. It was so intense na akala ko matuturn na ng Pylon yun. Pero that was just our first game, everyone. That was just our first series. And magkakaroon pa tayo ng second game natin, which is between TOPM Gearhawks Esports versus MGS Ligaya, and we're just gonna be taking a short break bago tayo mag-head dun sa next game natin na yun. We have been your casters for today. I'm Dash and I was here with Rebenga. See you guys in just a bit.
And just go through life without any direction really. But when I'm in the game and as captain of the team, I have to make confident split-second decisions to lead our team and give us that direction we need to win the game.
I got my self-confidence when I become a radio jock for the university, and it basically developed my self-confidence to speak out loud to many people out there.
As an ate, you're supposed to know what to do. Minsan, parang hindi na pwedeng magkamali. Kasi ate ka dapat you serve as an example for the younger ones. But as a student leader, that was not the case for me. I was allowed to make mistakes, learn, and do better. Just like how we encourage you, our telecubs, to wear your stripes.
The community that we've built across the world have given us a place to belong. As the world becomes more connected, the opportunities will reach all corners of the world. I'm so excited to bring campus gaming across Southeast Asia.
Esports and gaming can be a great equalizer. Here, your physique doesn't matter too much. Your sex and gender shouldn't matter. You have an avatar. You're just you and all the awesomeness that comes with it. It matters less which part of the world you're in. The world is bigger, and there's so much we can do together in gaming and esports. You just need to meet the right people to change the world.
In AcadArena, I broke through solo queue and became a team player.
In AcadArena, I broke through my comfort zone and became more social.
In AcadArena, I break through my hardship and become more confident.
In AcadArena, I was able to break through my shy and timid self and turn into a student leader, kinda.
In AcadArena, before I was lost, but because of the org, I was able to find my passion.
Happy birthday, AcadArena. Continue breaking through the stigma of video games and academics.
Happy birthday to AcadArena. We look forward to all the great work you guys will be doing in the coming years.
Happy birthday, AcadArena. We hope you continue to support our industry and break the stereotypes of how student gamers can be.
Pinoys continue to dominate in esports globally. This startup aims to keep the streak going and provide education for those eyeing a gaming career. AcadArena secured over 170 million pesos for their projects. We get to know more about their initiatives with a young...
It's still crazy to think that it's been 3 years since AcadArena started. Today isn't just a celebration of our anniversary, it's a celebration of everyone who supported us along the way. We've had students who grew up with AcadArena, myself being one of them. We know what it's like to balance work and studies, and we know what it's like to feel like you're not gonna make it. But you will, and it'll all be better. Break through with us.
Pag pinanghihinaan na tayo ng loob, where do we go? We go where our power lies. With Go Plus 99, 8 gigs for all sites plus 8 gigs for our favorite apps. Let's own the future with Globe Prepaid.
This is Filippo.
This is Jessica.
Parehong freshies, parehong gamers. Gusto ni Filippo maging next big caster.
Si Jessica naman wants to make the biggest esports tournament in their campus.
But they don't know where to start.
They're also from different campuses
in different parts of the Philippines.
They would have never met. If not,
for AcadArena.
In AcadArena, we help students meet, collaborate, and learn all the hype and wonder ng gaming at esports.
Dito, naging caster si Filippo even just for that afternoon. He met students with the same dream, attended our workshop, and we funded a tournament where they can debut.
That was Jessica's tournament. Inorganize niya ito with a student club in her campus na ginabayan namin all the way. And that's how they met. That's what we do here in AcadArena.
We turn gamers into leaders, casters, breadwinners. AcadArena, it's not just play.
Outside the game, I'd have a hard time making decisions and
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Alliance Games featuring Wild Rift and kami uli yung magiging shoutcasters nyo for today. I'm Dash and I'm here with Nebenga. Nebenga, we had a great Series 1. That was so intense na yung game natin ng Game 1. So, expectations ulit sa Game 2 natin between TUPM versus TUPM Gearhawks versus MGS Gaia. And this might be an exciting game then kasi these are teams that we have seen before.
Oo nga. So I have seen ditong dalawang team compete sa mga matagal na 'to para sa akin sa
Yes.
Wilders. So sa
True.
previous season naglaban na rin yata 'tong dalawang teams and
Yep.
exciting, based sa first game, exceeding expectations. This game, siguro most likely it will be a very, very close game between these two teams.
Nakita rin naman natin sila during the last time sa UAC Season 3. Nakita natin TUPM, especially on Division A, was able to put themselves up there. And sa Division B naman, nakita natin MGS Gaia, they were able to stay a bit, pero their run was cut short. But now, nandito na sila sa bigger stages. Now, nasa lower bracket sila. Kung sino man matalo sa kanila would be taken out of the competition. And again, remember everyone, the matches and the grand finals of our game would be live at Conquest 2022 on July 23. And that is going to be exciting, no? Kaya don't forget to check that out. Stay tuned for more Conquest updates at the official FB page, fb.com/Conquest Philippines. And also, everyone, don't forget that this wouldn't be a thing without our amazing sponsors and partners. Alliance Games is co-presented by Globe Telecom, our official telco sponsor. And ito na, game na agad. Mainit agad na labanan natin between our two teams, MGS Gaia versus Gearhawks. And we can see na nakita natin during our first game, Rebenga, na yung mga comfort picks talaga nila binaban nila kanina. Even during game 2, same pa rin yung bans nila. So this is gonna be exciting if ever iba naman yung mga iba bans dito sa games na to.
Aside from Karma, kasi Karma is still banned.
Totoo.
Pero ang iba dito is naban siya blue side rather than the red side match. Usually kasi Karma nakita natin sa red side, but I think they just don't want to deal with it or may nakita sila na magaling mag-Karma, so let's just remove it na lang to be safe, diba?
Nakakatakot talaga kasi yung Karma. Kasi Karma enables a lot of plays and even Yumi na usually nagiging ban rin naman even in the icons.
Yes.
And during the last game, ban naman talaga siya lagi during the 2 games. So makikita natin, very typical. I hope naman yung mga second bans natin would be something like a Jace, something like a Kabil na usually nagiging priority picks ng mga teams rin.
Yeah, so usually yung first ban is yung normal ban, kumbaga safe ban, kumbaga nothing, walang
Fancy.
draft, walang fancies, but Olaf I think is still a hot ban dito sa collegiate league natin so far.
Yeah, ayaw talaga nila makakita ng Olaf, no? Especially during the early game talaga, ang lakas ni Olaf. We all know na early game to mid game, he's really good. He has a lot of DPS. Talagang matitake over niya yung game. Ayaw lang talaga ng mga collegiate teams natin na take over talaga or mas snowball in favor of the other team kasi mahirap na talaga mag-come back from that, especially when the Olaf reaches the heights na even in the late game, he would be very scary then.
Yeah, so go second ban dito para sa Gearhawks is Lucian. So a very strong ban as well. Meta ban and highly contested pick as well. So looking kind of standard so far from both these teams. Game 1 pa lang naman kaya nagtamang paramdam muna. And the more spicier part will be yung kung kailan sila magpipick. So Corky as well. So yung mga picks ginamit last game. So yan ang yung binaban.
Binaban nila Lucian Corky na na-pick lagi during the last game. So we're expecting a lot of different picks on this one. Pero dahil nga yung Jace hindi pa ban dito, probably pwedeng kunin rin ito na side ng MGS if ever they want to get that priority na pwede mo rin i-flex on 3 roles even in the jungle. Kaya yung Jace is a very strong pick. Lalo na pag nakaban yung mga flex pick, normal na flex picks. Pero I forgot, Senna could be open.
Senna. So Senna is open. So it's up to these teams na I think nanood ako last week. So there are teams that tried Senna but it's di siya nag-work out properly. Yeah. So hindi porket nagamit yung Senna, sure win agad. So it all comes to the execution kung paano niya siya ma-abuse, paano mong magagamit yung kanyang third skill or yung kanyang team potential. Kasi Senna is more of a team player. Team-oriented champion eh. So if you can't team fight properly, hindi siya magiging as effective as you would want. Hindi katulad sa icons na sulit na sulit lagi yung Senna, yung binds, yung ultimate, yung pagtago. Sobrang nakakainis.
Yeah. The classic, no, yun nakikita natin sa icons na Senna Nasus na usually ginagamit nila just because of the sheer utility na meron sila pareho and very hard to kill. Malakas siya especially on team compositions na there's a lot of bruisers, there's a lot of fighters kasi Senna would be sustaining the team out. Talagang isusupport niya the team all throughout the end. Pero dahil nga nakuha nila yung Senna, there was a lot of champions na open for takings rin. Yung Camille, yung Lee Sin na usually picks talaga sa jungle and even at the top side na pwede mag-sustain throughout the longer stages of the game. Pero Kha'Zix Lee Sin, classic matchup to.
Yeah, so I think the picks have adjusted. Kumbaga from last week, medyo nagkanya-kanyang flavor. This for today, medyo pang icons na talaga ang mga
Yes,
pilian nila.
I
So yung
like
mga
it.
priority picks sa icons, yun na rin ang kinukuha ng mga collegiate teams with the Lee Sin, Kha'Zix. Napaka-familiar matchup. Ang tatlo lang naman ginagamit ng jungle sa icons ngayon, Lee Sin, Kha'Zix, tsaka Wukong. Hindi na gumagalaw sa tatlong yun. So far, 100% pick rate yung tatlong yun. And Singed as well, another big pick dito para sa MGS Gaia.
It's a great thing na meron silang cinch agad, no? They didn't prioritize picking the Nasus kasi naman hindi na mapipiliin ng kabilang team yun eh. Kaya they actually nilagay mo na nila sa inventory nila para at least meron silang pang flex pick later on. Kaya it's a good thing that they did that. And Gearhawks was forced to use the Galio. Kasi there's also a possibility na pwedeng kunin yung Senna and Galio combo if ever the Nasus wasn't available sa second rotation eh. Kaya, very smart. Pero I don't know if MGS went in for the bait there. Kaya ganito yung ginawa nila.
So one thing dito sa MGS is that wala pang pares tong Senna. So there's a chance na mabantong Gragas pati Nasus. And then napunta rin sa Gearhawks yung Galio. So nawala na yung meta. Kumbaga yung meta na kasama ng Senna. So they would have to be a bit more exotic by picking siguro pairing it up with the Singed or maybe even a Malphite na pinakita ng KT sa icon. So they have to play it a bit more unless open yung Nasus. Pag in-open na Nasus, no problem. So dito sa Gearhawks, what they would want is a typical pick-off composition with the Senna Galio, Lee Sin in the side lane. And dito naman sa MGS, more of
there
a
you go.
binana nga yung Nasus. So expected bans kasi
yes.
at tinanggalan ng pakapares ng Senna. So let's see kung anong adjustments na gagawin ng MGS Gaia. Maybe meron silang tinatago kaya di nila agad pinik yung kapares ng Senna.
Yep.
So
I like
we'll
that.
see. So tignan natin ang adjustments.
I like yung reactive yung ginawa dito ng nung MGS Gaia kung ano man mangyari. Tinatry nilang mag-take off ng mga bans from Gearhawks. Dahil, yun nga sinabi namin kanina, ginawa nilang bait yung Nasus tsaka yung Gragas ban on their side. Kasi there's still a champion. I forgot, si Seth could also be paired well. Lalo na, ang dami nilang melee champion sa side ng Gearhawks. Madaling patamaan yung Phrase Breaker tsaka Showstopper against them. So this would be a good counter set potential. Set with a counter set sa side ng MGS Gaia. And yun na nga yung kukunin nila sa side ng MGS.
So Seth, another great pick na kasama ng Senna. So good for countering the Camille para mapalabas. Pati yung Zed even. Gearhawks choosing a more pick-oriented split push comp. So far sa kanilang draft, a lot of split push potential. Dito naman sa MGS, more of the team fight, sama-sama connection, and looking at the last week. Yes, Jace is really good. Jace is still open, and a great pick kasi malakas mag-side lane yung Jace, and it's something na kailangan nilang protektahan kasi yung Jace yung mag-hold kumbaga ng side lanes.
Interesting. Kala ko, iniisip ko, ipipick ba talaga nila tong Aurelion Sol kasi there's not gonna be a place for, or at least wala silang ADC pa at this point. So ADC yung ina-expect natin na i-pick nila. It might be a Morgana, yes. Yeah, yung Morgana na ipipick nila for their side. They have a lot of ways to do damage. Pero meron rin sila, naghahanap ako ng way na meron silang hyper carry sa side ng Gearhawks Esports eh. Pero parang nakukulangan ako sa damage potential nila with this setup. Pero tignan natin kung ano mangyari.
Oo nga. So, looking at the compositions, MGS Gaia, napakalinis tignan yung composition nila. They have a Singe for the initiation. They have Set for the counter engage. They have Assassination for objectives, Kha'Zix, and then Jace pang side lane, potential side lane. So, yung Gearhawks is more of a pick composition. They have Morgana for the wave clear, kumbaga. And then, ang plano nila siguro is to have Zed tsaka Camille in both side lanes. And then Lee Sin try to get some pickoffs. Try to force some fight. So what Gearhawks need to do, kailangan nila mag-snowball ng game and to get the Zed and Camille ahead as much as possible.
Yeah. Yun yung nakikita natin dito, especially. Bitter End is a really great jungler whenever he gets a Lee Sin. So yun yung nakakatakot dito sa side ng Gearhawks Esports dahil meron silang isang comfort pick na nakatakas. They have a lot of pick potential sa side ng Gearhawks Esports. Pero ang mahirap dito, they only have a handful of targets. Especially, I can see Chin going for a hull breaker here. So medyo kukunat rin siya makakapag-side lane. And Singe and Jace are good matchups against the Zed in lane. So kahit sino pagpalitin nila dito would be great. MGS has a very well-rounded composition. They have damage, they have tankiness, they can go for sustained fights. Gearhawks, their mission is to take one down para at least the 4v5 is bearable against sa side ng MGS.
Yes, sobrang importante ang early game pagdating dito sa Gearhawks kasi going for a snowball composition, the later the game goes, mas mahirapan sila, mas kukunat tong Singe, mas magkakaroon sila mga stasis, pang kontra sa Camille, pati sa Z. Actually, stasis counters their whole team. Kasi pag nag-ulti Z, ulti Camille, stasis, wala na, sayang na yung ulti nila. So, Gearhawks on the clock sila on what they want to do. Most likely, they have to go online before magkaroon ng stasis yung mga members itong MGS. Well, di ka kailangan mag-stasis tong Siege tsaka Set kasi makunat na sila eh. So, tong Kha'Zix, Senna, tsaka Jace, once na makuha nila yung items and wala silang pampunit kumbaga sa tanks.
Yep. A lot of them rely on their ultimates, no? And the way this works is gonna be just the stasis. And marami na tayo nakitang ganun games, even in Icons, na whenever you have a Z, whenever you have this ultimate-based composition, pag nag-stasis sila lahat, mawawala, mamimitigate lahat ng damage na pwedeng yung i-deal and they can come back from that fight if ever makasurvive sila. Pag nakasurvive sila, wala na kayong skills and that's where you go down. So kailangan maging careful ng Gearhawks and choose their fights talaga dito.
So, sa start na yung game, if you look at the junglers, tamang red side lang, both going for the same pathing. I think Lee Sin would want to try to prioritize to take down the Jace kasi yung Jace yung isa sa win condition nila eh. Pag nalugi yung Jace, mas madali yung split push na tong Z, mas madali yung split push na tong Camille. Walang kayang tumapat sa kala eh. Ang mapo-force na maghiwalay itong Singe, kailangan humiwalay yung Kha'Zix, lang matulong yung Jace, pero nag-gauge that the bot side.
Oh, ito, may fight agad sila sa bot side, nakakuha na agad sila na exhaust down, and hindi ata maganda yun kasi they didn't have the damage sa side ng MGS, kaya 1-4-0 in their favor.
Medyo maasim yung Senna doon, humarap siya sa dalawa, pagkatama ng taunt, na bind siya, and di na siya nakagalaw, na burst siya. Even though medyo mahina yung Galio Morgana sa laning. Even though mahina Morgana Galio sa laning, it would still be meron pa rin silang damage, kumbaga. Kailangan nyo pa rin i-respeto.
Yep.
So,
definitely. Oh, nakuha agad nila yun eh. Especially meron pa silang Black Shield on their hands na pwede rin nila gamitin. And yun yung pwede magpahirap ng fights dito sa side ng MGS. Kasi yes, they have a lot of CC. Pero pag nakapag Black Shield, that would be hard, especially in the early game and the first objectives. Maybe later on, hindi na magiging threat yun. Pero now, it's a big threat sa MGS.
Yes, so ito kailangan ng GHX, which is kailangan nila magkaroon ng early kills, which is perfect, na nasaktan agad nila yung Senna set lane, which is which goes to show na porkit nakuha nyo Senna, hindi naman ibig sabihin sure win agad. And since they know na wala ng flash tong duo bot, tignan mo pwesto ni Bitter End, most probably pwede sila maghanap ng dive.
Oo, pwede sila kumuha ng push dito if ever they want to go for a fight. They are going in, they're gonna go with the Dragon's Rage, not enough to get the kill, pero nakuha pa rin nila in the end. And again, another good kill for TOPM.
Yeah, so playing to their win conditions, MGS looking for a trade on the top side, cross map play. Camille is stuck in her tower, but Kha'Zix is there para maharangan. Galio forcing the ultimate.
Oh, Hero Central sa top side, nakuha agad nila, pero ito papunta sila para makapag-turn around. The Deathmark is there and they get a kill on Ryujin. And makukuha ata yung Ignite sa backside, nakuha yung kill, pero not enough pa rin. That's gonna be it. A 2-4-1 advantage naman sa Gearhawks. Ang bilis nila maglaro.
Napakaganda ng ginawa ng Galio is especially na once na alam nila goods na yung bot side and alam nila madadivan yung top, immediately nag-recall siya, tumakbo sa top side, and pag nung nag-engage napag heroes entrance, napag buy time yung Kapil, and just enough time para makarating yung Z pati yung Lee Sin. So hindi in sync kumbaga yung dive nila, di sila nakapag-dive na maayos. Good news is that at least napatay yung Camille, but overall lamang pa rin GHX doon.
Ang laki pa rin na lamang ng Gearhawks dahil nga nakakuha na sila ng 4 or rather 5 kills already sa side nila. Ang laking advantage agad nun and pwede nila gamitin to para ito, nakita natin top side. Again, Dragon's Rage. Si Chin ata mamamatay na naman dito. Wala siyang flash. So most likely, yes, he's dead. Patay na siya sa top side.
So ito na nga ang snowball na sinasabi ko. So even though na medyo may hirapan yung composition sa early game, kaya nung hirap-hirap pa pag sobrang yaman nila, diba?
Yep.
So 4 minutes right on timer. Mababasag na rin yata yung tower, but Galio.
Eugene with the showstopper. Goes doon nila gumawa ng fight, pero may Black Shield talaga. The safety of the Black Shield is enough para ma-mitigate yung mga damage side ng MGS. Kaya right now, we're finding it hard para makapag-scale up kasi Gearhawks is not letting them do that.
Yes, and then yung one of the win conditions nitong MGS, which is yung Jace, medyo na shutdown na, nabasag na yung tower. Camille was able to get a hull breaker, buo na niya, and it would not be katulad ng last series natin wherein binubuli ng Jace yung Camille. Most likely baliktad yung mangyayari dito kasi nakabuelo yung Camille. But we have to see in the objectives, this is where MGS could possibly make a comeback.
Ito usually nangyayari talaga when it comes to Camille versus Jace. Whoever gets the early game, or at least if ever makasurvive yung Camille before the first item, that is gonna be enough para makapag-turn around sila. Pero ito nakita natin sa top side, Ryujin wants to go for a kill, pero ito ang kunat pa rin talaga ni Sly dito. Makukuha nila yung referral, that's gonna be it. MGS takes it, and hindi nakapag-contest yung Gearhawks kasi wala naman dito si Bitter End sa top side, kaya that's gonna be a trade.
Yeah, so going for the trade, GHX playing it a bit safe rather than pushing their advantage, which is okay naman. We have to check in the next few minutes kung anong gagawin ng Lee Sin. Sobrang importante to. Most likely, they would want to try to pressure the bot side. Since basag na yung BR lane, the next objective of GHX would try to get a pick off or to get the bottom tower. Dito naman sa MGS, what they want is to try to slow the pace of the game. They need to try to get their items and hold the line muna.
Yeah. Talagang kailangan lang nila i-hold yung line dito sa side ng MGS. Kailangan nila mag-stay para makapag-scale yung mga champions sila, especially Box and Shin. And makakapag-sustain naman sila sa the longer the fight goes. Pero sa nakikita natin right now, it's just slowing down. Kasi Gearhawks is just having a good time. Sila yung pwede mag-set ng face. And MGS doesn't really have a lot of ways to go in for fights except for Cupid. Tsaka si Cred pala.
Yes, so engage dito for MGS. Pero na-taunt ng Galio.
Sa mid lane, nakikita natin, Ama was able to get into the backline. Meron siyang, the death mark was enough for him to get the kill. And hindi talaga makapag-trade yung MGS every time with the Dragon's Rage makasama, and that's gonna be it. A 1 again, si Kreb pa ata, kung tinaba siya ng Dark Binding, he could have been next.
So, medyo weird yung engage. I think MGS kaya, na-feel nila yung pressure at kailangan nila mag-force ang teamfight kahit di nila kailangan, and immediately, na-punish sila pagdating ng Zed, pagdating ng Lee Sin, and getting 8 for 1 exchange.
Nakuha sila yung exchange. And as we see,
2 for none,
throughout the fight kanina, wala sila nakuha ang kill. That's a 2-4-0. And ang hirap talaga for MGS kasi as we said kanina, wala silang way para makuha ng fights after their ultimates, after the showstopper, after the facebreaker. May hirapan na sila mag-turn around ng fights. Kaya, kailangan lang nila maging reactive to what Gearhawks does. And Gearhawks does everything fast. Parang itong si Vok ata, hindi tumama yung Sonic Wave. Kung tumama yung Sonic Wave, that could have been an easy kill for the side dito ng Gearhawks. Pero na-burn na agad yung exhaust ni Vox dito.
So luckily, hindi siya namatay doon and nakapaghinga kahit papaano, but ito na nga ang ginagawa ng GHX. Pina-force talaga nila yung pressure, pina-pressure talaga ng MGS na may kailangan silang gawin. And looking at the items, I think Lee Sin's going for a Guardian Angel, second item, and then dito naman sa kapila, Kha'Zix going for the Black Cleaver. Both Baron laners completed na kanilang Hull Breaker. Zed completed the Grudge, so kahit na naka-Hull Breaker ka, mapapunit, mapag-armor penetration na yung Cyril's Grudge.
Yeah, yun talaga yung importante dito. Kailangan talaga nila makuha yung, as you said, yung Cyril's Grudge early game. Yun yung kailangan nila when it comes to the Hull Breaker builds. Kasi pwede talaga nilang i-armor shred lang yung members ng MGS dito. And nakita naman natin sa top side, the aggression from Sly and the confidence from this guy. Chin has been hextech ultimated together with the Hero's Entrance, and wala na. Hindi na siya makakagalaw just because of that Dragon's Rage from Bitter End.
So their GHX, napagandang kanilang combination whenever may ulti tong Gamil Galio. Naghanap sila ng away, but tower will be broken. Nasbasag pa yung mid tower. So MGS, napaganda ng macro ng GHX right now. Kasi rumes po yung MGS sa top. Nung narumes po yung MGS sa top, binasag ng GHX yung mid. So that will be a very clean kill plus tower take para sa GHX.
Great takings for the side dito ng Gearhawks kasi they are able to make sure na mahihirapan yung MGS sa fights nila. Ito, Red Herald in the mid lane, hindi na nakakuha ng chance yung MGS na mailapag itong Red Herald together with them just because hindi sila makakuha ng prayo at any part of the map. Kaya they're having a hard time. Red Herald is free for the taking, pero Deathmark dito sa backline, showstopper siya, papunta sa tower, and this would be good for him. The Living Shadow was enough to bait them out. Yes, hindi siya nakakuha ng kill, pero nakasurvive siya against 3 people.
Yes, so Zed nakapag-buy time. Galio going for the engage. I think lalaban pa yata sila.
Oo, meron pa silang flash.
Out yung Kha'Zix top side. Engage nangyayari.
Oh, meron silang
Ayun,
fight
Jace,
pero nakuha
yet
nila yung
again.
kill kay Chin. Meron silang face breaker dito sa bot side. May haymaker. Justice Punch was there.
Zed.
Pero hindi sila makakuha ng other things but 2 for 0 again sa Gearhawk side.
So, Gearhawks winning both sides of the map. Hindi lang sila nanalo sa Herald, nanalo rin sila sa bot side. I think gusto gawin ng MGS dito is mapag-trade. Alam nila, di nila kaya sa RH. So, they tried to attack the Zed. Kaso nga lang, masyadong magaling yung mechanics niya and medyo na-outplay yung tatlo. Hindi nila napatay at nabaliktad pa nga, worst case scenario. Hindi na nga nila napatay yung Zed, sila pa yung nalugi.
And yun yung mahirap dito. And dahil sinabi naman natin kanina, Rebenga, na malakas talaga early game potential ng side ng Gearhawks. They are taking time bomb. And maganda dun is ginagawa nila yung win objectives nila. And ang hirap yung win conditions nila, ang dali gawin. Especially with the Zed. Together with Apa Ama na nakasirel, tas Grudge siya, pwede siya mag-Living Shadow out of the way here. So, he'll gonna be surviving. And the Cloud Drake is up for the taking para sa Gearhawks again.
So, another objective is up. MGS is not, hindi sila sama-sama right now. And nasa-split sila lagi dahil sa Camille Zed na to Hindi pa nila na-execute yung composition na magsasama-sama sila tapos paghahanap na mapipitas. Hindi pa na nagagawa yun kasi yung pressure na binibigay na itong Zed Camille, not giving them enough space para mapag-teamfight na maayos.
Ang dami talaga ng space na binibigay dito na side ng Gearhawks. No? Kasi ito, sa nakita natin, Dragon's Rage, gusto niya ata pumasok with the Sonic Wave, pero good thing na pigilan niya. Could have been a play, pero could have ended badly if ever pumasok siya dun sa Sonic Wave na yun.
So I think medyo looking confident tong Gearhawks kasi trying to do some style plays pero sticking to the plan pa rin. Wala naman masyadong nangyaring masama. Sticking with the 1-3-1. Tapos bot lane, I think Zed another fight.
Gusto talaga nila kung muna fight dito sa bot lane. Hero's Entrance was there to help them out. And Robs, okay, magbaback sila dun sa fight ito. Pero itong mid, nakikita natin, no, Rebecca, meron silang Rift Herald dun dahil nga nag-rotate sila agad. Rift Herald is there to get a bonk, pero ito, it's not gonna be able to hit kasi may Black Shield together with him and hindi sila makapasok because of it. Ang dami nilang ways para hindi makapasok yung MGS kaya hindi sila makakuha ng kill dito.
So MGS, they're trying to do some proactive plays kaso nga lang hindi nila mapatay dahil napaka daming dash to ton GHX. If you try to gank the Zed, meron siyang Living Shadows palabas. If you try to gank the Camille, meron siyang hook shot palabas. Pag yung Lee Sin naman, meron siyang safeguard. So saan kayo pupunta, diba? Sino mag-adjust? So, and worst case scenario, mahuli nyo. Meron pang Heroes Entrance galing dito kay Robs. Kaya napahirap ang position ngayon ng MGS kasi hindi sila wala talaga sila mahanap na opportunity na makapitas ng isang player.
Yeah, ang hirap talaga ng combination ng Gearhawks dito, no? And if tinry talaga nila pumasok all together, baka sila pa yung maternan. Kasi at this point in the game, MGS doesn't have the gold to back them up with. Wala pa sila nung items na kailangan nila. They had 2 items, yes, pero almost leading to 3 items na agad yung side ng Gearhawks. Kaya mas malaki yung potential nilang manalo dun sa fights.
So what, engage?
Tumama agad. Justice Punch, showstopper para papunta sila sa backline pero masyadong makunat pa ata siya dito na Dragon's Rage siya papunta dun sa teammates niya. Pero nakapag-stay pa siya ng onte. Meron pa silang Black Shield. Mamamatay ata si Peter N. But he has the GA and the stasis. He's not gonna be dead. He's gonna be revived. And Shield of Duran is here. They don't have enough damage pero makakuha ata si Peter N. Na-kill pa dito pero matatrade na siya. And that's gonna be a 2-4 or rather a 3-4-1 kasi meron pa nakuha pa sila isang kill. Hindi pa sila tapos. Si Sly pumasok pa si Chin yung magiging target and Krev is the last one standing and that's gonna be it. A 4-4-1 in favor agad ng Gearhawks.
Yeah, so nahuli yung Senna and tinry ng MGS para iligtas yung Senna. So there were 2 fights na nangyayari, one in the mid side and one at the red buff kung saan lumaban, di ko alam kung sino lumaban, I think yung Kha'Zix, but all in all lumamang yung GHX because of the snowball and the items that they have. They easily take the fight. At least natanggal nila yung GA ng Lee Sin plus getting a kill as well.
Yun talaga. Ang dami nila lagi ang dami nilang kills na nakaka-get away sila with na supposedly pwede na sila mamatay. Not like what happened to Bitter End. Gearhawks always has a way to get out of fights and MGS hindi nila ma-finish off yung mga ini-start nilang fights. Kasi nga, as we said, malaki yung advantage ng Gearhawks. Meron silang 9k gold lead, meron silang Zed, at ang dami nilang pang get away free card sa side nila. And that's why they're just capitalizing on it and hindi sila masyado nagte-take ng risk. I like this playstyle na nakikita ko sa Gearhawks.
Yeah, so even though na snowball nila yung game, they're still trying to play a bit they're not playing it in a way na makakabawi tong MGS. Kasi kaya pa rin bumawi tong MGS based sa composition eh. So, if magkamali tong Gearhawks mga isa, dalawang beses, baka mabaliktad pa yung game.
Remember, may Hull Breaker to, si Sly. If ever a 2v1 nila to, I think he can still fight them. Kaya medyo mahirapan pa rin yung MGS dito. They're trying to take the fight. And dahil nasa bot lane, nakita nila si Ryujin doon. They're starting the Baron. And Sly nandito siya para i-stop pa tong si Ryujin para makapag-react din sa Baron. That's a great macro play from Gearhawks. Wala silang masagot except for the tower and the bot lane.
So the moment na nakita nila na nasa bot sila, na-try nila saktan yung Camille, immediately go for the Baron. And here, even though nakakuha sila ng trade.
May extra cultivator pa sila, makukuha nila yung kill with the Hero's Entrance. And nabaon na si Chin doon together with the Hero's Entrance.
Yeah, so ito na snowball na sinasabi natin na nakuha ng GHX, playing to what they need to do, which is get as much kills as possible and not allow MGS na magsama. So hanggang ngayon, wala pa rin clash na nagsama tong MGS. Di na pa rin na nagagamit yung composition. Kasi sa nangyayaring split map pressure.
Play it safe, play it well. Yun yung ginagawa dito ng side nila. Ito nakita natin onto the bottom side. Nakapag-flash itong si Ryujin to safety. Pero wala na siyang Void Assault later on for his safety. Kita natin, they're going for a kill onto Seth. They have the sticky goo. Hindi sila makapag-follow up kasi they have a lot of dashes sa side ng Gearhawks.
So, Dragon is up. Kala ko, Elder na to. Luckily, Mountain Dragon pa to. So, there's still some time para mapag-farm to MGS and it's up to GHX kung paano nila gagamitin yung Baron buff since I think all of them have the buff and they would go for the 1-3-1.
Gusto talaga nila makuha yung safety dito sa game na to. No? Nakita natin topside though. Oh, the damage! Enough! Dalawang shuriken pa lang yung tumama pero Chin is already at his legs. Nakita natin dito onto the top side of the map. They want to get the kill pero mid lane though. They're trying their best to get the macro out of the side of MGS pero hindi ata sila makakuha ng place dito. Hindi sila makapag-wave clear just because of the Baron buff. They want to go for kills. They have it. They got the tower in the mid lane, enter the top side, and magbaback away sila without anyone dying sa side ng Gearhawks.
Oo nga, so wala talaga silang mahabolan at this stage of the game. May hirap talaga kahit makapag 5v5 sila. Ang laking harang talaga yung Galio, especially with the Black Shield.
Ito, nakita natin, gusto pa nila ng fight dito onto the bottom side. Gusto na ata nila tapusin yung game. Pero to, nandito na si Zed. Siya yung magiging icing on top of the cake nitong pagtapas sila sa game na to. Gearhawks, they're playing it safe. Hindi pa nila i-risk na tapusin agad.
Yeah, so nawala na yung Baron buff nila. So what they just want to do is to play it a bit safe. Kunin nila yung mga buffs, kunin nila yung camps. One last back, buy your items, and most probably finish the game. MGS having a really hard time. Yung Jace Hindi nga nag-stasis tong Jaces, kaya actually walang nag-stasis if you look at the comp of MGS, which is very, very unsurprising kasi may Z2, may Galio, pati Camille. If you had stasis, then siguro maraming beses na kayo kaya maligtas, but it's the pressure that gets to them, kumbaga, and yun, sobrang yaman lang talaga ng members ng Jaces.
Ito na naman tayo. Hindi tumama yung shurikens. Good thing. Hindi tumama yung shurikens.
Camille with a flank.
Ito, makikita agad nila ata si Sly na sticky goo pero nakapag-hexec ultimatum doon sa right target. Shin is gonna be his target. Oh no! Sniped! And that's gonna be the kill. And meron pa nga naiwan na isa sa kanila sa likod. And this is gonna be the GA on their side. Nakita natin Gearhawks. They're losing their ground. They're losing a lot of their HP. Pero still, they have the GAs to back it up with. This is gonna be good for their side. 5 people strong pa rin sila. Nakuha pa yung Dark Binding on the box. And he's the one, the next on the chopping block. 5 members strong. Gray's gonna be next. He's 1 HP. He is gonna go down. And this is gonna be the last one to Eugen with the ace. Hindi pa nga nila kinuha yung kill. And that's gonna be a 1-0 sa side ng Gearhawks.
Very clean game dito sa Gearhawks. I think medyo lumamang talaga sila pagdating sa mechanics out na micro. And it goes to show. Hindi naman porket nakuha niya Sena auto-win agad. So, Gearhawks playing to their win conditions. Once lumamang na yung bot, pinagtripan nila yung Jace, inulit-ulit. Once na wala nang split pusher tong MGS, wala na, dali na. Hindi na makapag-pressure tong MGS since wala silang panghuli, kumbaga.
Yeah, and yun talaga yung nagpahirap dito sa side ng MGS kasi as you said, wala silang panghuli. Meron man sila kahit onte, pero they have the black shield na humaharang lagi sa kanila and the Hero's Entrance. Ang daming things na kailangan nilang isipin before they go in for a fight, and that's the reason why they have been having a hard time to start fights against the members of Gearhawks. And dahil hindi sila makapag-finish, Gearhawks is just there go in, get a kill, back away. Ang ganda nung pinakitang discipline dito ng Gearhawks.
Yes, so di talaga nila nabigyan ng chance ng MGS na magsama-sama and mag-team fight ng 5v5. Ang nangyari is always split push, always catch potential with the hero's entrance plus the Hextech ultimatum. And then yung Lee Sin, pat Dragon's Rage lang din.
Yep.
Very messy, kumbaga, yung mga laban which is advantageous dito para sa Gearhawks.
Sobrang nahirapan lang sila kasi hindi talaga sila makapag-finish ng fights eh. Pwede nila i-start, yes. Pero dahil hindi nila ma-finish yung fights, dahil nakukulangan sila ng damage, and hindi rin nila magamit na maayos yung early game potential sana ni Ryujin with the Kha'Zix, especially with isolated targets. Kasi nung mga huli, lagi nang it's gonna be a 3v3 na usually hindi ma-isolate yung mga targets. Kaya hindi na nagkaroon ng ganun kalaking priority itong si Ryujin compared to Bitter End. Kaya Bitter End, really well played yung mga rotations niya around the map. Kaya na-enable yung mga carries niya.
So if I was MGS guy, I think kailangan ko talaga i-play a bit safe. Medyo nagmadali din sila sa game na yun eh. Napapressure na sila, parang nasa isip nila kailangan natin makapatay, kailangan natin makatrade, pero lahat ng plano nila hindi nila nag-execute na maayos, and ang worst case scenario pa nga nangyari, nabaliktad pa nga thanks to the hero's entrance of the Galio. Napakalaking factor talaga din yung Galio into trying to counter yung mga plano nitong MGS Gaia.
Yeah, tinry talaga nila. I can see them trying actually going for the fights there. Pero Gearhawks was just a different beast during this game. Ang laki nung nakuha nilang advantage, ang laki nung gap sa gold. And that just says a lot about this team. They have been here for the longest time sa UAC, and they have been proving themselves time and time again. And ngayon, pinuprove pa rin nila na even though they're on the lower brackets, they are up for a fight. And I really like that about Gearhawks kasi very competitive, and I like na I'm seeing very familiar faces then on their side na ganun pa rin, ang lakas pa rin ng performance nila.
So, it's up to MGS Gaia kung anong gustong adjustments na gawin nila. Draft-wise, I don't think nalugi sila. It's just more on the execution and the laning phase, kung paano sila gagalaw sa map and paano nila maglalagay nila sarili nila in a way na advantageous para sa kanila. Kasi anong nangyari is lagi sila naglalaro sa playing field ng Gearhawks eh. Never sila naglaro kung saan sila lamang.
Yun talaga yung yung mga problema when it comes to it. Kasi when you go for fights, kailangan you're ready for anything to happen. Pero they were not expecting a lot of things when it comes to the fight. Kaya when it came to the point na kailangan nila mag-take ng objective, Gearhawks knows how to play it. 3v2, most of the time, na-isolate lagi sila. And that's why the composition of Gearhawks was able to shine during that game. Pero if ever they're gonna be doing the same thing on this game, kailangan lang nila parang planchahin pa yung kanilang mga win conditions and yung mga positioning nila pagdating sa mga clashes.
Yeah, so Gearhawks with a match point, MGS Gaia, last game. So kailangan, kung if ever na kailangan nila gumawa kung anong man ritual para lang makakuha ng panalo, kailangan nila gawin cause
do or die na.
It's do or die na sila. So no more room for error, kumbaga.
Yeah. Kumbaga, perfection yung kailangan natin makita. Pero nasa blue side pa rin sila, no? So,
Same
kailangan na nila i-priority yung mga champions na could have been effective nung game 1. Like the Senna na ginawa nila. Pero, if it could have changed na yung first rotation na kuha nila yung Senna Nasus, it could have been different. Para at least meron silang more damage or at least mahirapan yung Black Shield to be able to make work. Pero hindi rin natin masabi kasi Gearhawks just played it so well.
Yes, in fairness, MGS Guide, kuha na rin ng mga power picks, especially nang ginagamit yung icons. Number 1 pick, Kazi, Sena, pati yung Sinch, pag nagsama talaga yun, medyo kakabahan ka na talaga. Ang nangyari lang talaga is yung early game, kailangan lang nila linisin ng konti. They have to play it a bit more safely. Hindi naman nila kailangan maghanap ng fights lagi. It's up to the... they just need to scale and play it slow. If ever they're going for the same kind of composition.
Yeah. You just need to let the Senna scale talaga. Yun yung pinaka-importante na kailangan nila gawin. Whenever a Senna scales, the range gets better, the heal gets stronger. And that's why, when it comes to those fights, parang hindi tayo nakakita ng full-blown 5v5 fight unless it was nakapag-takedown agad ng Gearhawks ng isa sa kanila. Kaya nahihirapan na sila makapag-turn around whenever that happens. And good thing, labi na nila dito yung Morgana kasi the Black Shield was so hard to deal with for them nung game 1.
Yeah, so MGS, I think nag-adjust na ng draft. Naban nila Olaf previously, if I'm not mistaken. So they would most probably have another champion open.
Yep.
or they have other plans. So let's see kung mag-adjust ng bans ng Gearhawks. I think they would still go with the same bans kasi panalo naman sila game 1, so why not? So why fix it, 'di ba?
Yeah.
Ba't nila iibahin?
Yeah. Kung if ever if it works, it works, no? Kahit game 2, kailangan nyo talaga i-pick if ever it works. So, Gearhawks, kailangan nilang i-pick rin yung mga champions na they were able to make work during game 1. And I think they have room to experiment kasi nga it's a best of 3. Pwede pang ma-turn around. Yung momentum was there for Gearhawks pero not enough pa rin para ma-snowball yung buong series. So, the Olaf ban here, ayaw talaga. Parang allergic na yung MGS dun sa mga hindi pwede isisi.
Yeah, so Olaf ban is a decent ban, but this will leave room for the Lee Sin para ma-open ulit. And Gearhawks going for the same bans. Irel, Illusion, Yumi, Senna's open again, and let's see kung anong gagawin ng MGS.
Ooh, okay. They picked the Senna again. So, as you said, pwede nila kunin yung Lee Sin ulit to side the bitter end. And we have known how
Camille.
strong they are. Camille, Lee Sin, first and second pick, very decent. If it works, it's gonna work again for game 2.
Yeah, so it's up to MGS kung anong gusto na lang gawin diskarte, if they would want to stick with the same game plan and try to play it a bit slowly, or meron silang ibang plans or trying to get probably the Nasus or Gragas in the second rotation. Kha'Zix is still open. They could probably lower the prio. Pwede nila gawin dito is Nasus plus Sinch would also be a very good pick kasi kahit pa ba yung Kha'Zix, meron pa namang Wukong eh. And it would still be very effective.
Ayun na nga. Ayun na nga yung sinasabi mo, Rebecca. Nakuha na nga nila yung Nasus. And the Corki.
Corki yung naban kanina.
Oo. And with this, they have the damage that they need together with the amount of utilities that Senna and the Nasus could give. So, eto na. Meron silang parang equipments para makapag-scale sa late game.
So, MGS Gaia, meron na naman silang late game scaling composition with the Senna, Nasus, Corki. Pag umabot sila sa late game, 2 to 3 items, then it would be all good. Dito naman sa kabila, still sticking to their guns, going for the early game composition. Nakagawa sila ng mag-early plays and trying to do the same plan.
Yeah. They're gonna ban the Z. feel ko talaga ibaban nila yung Z dito for
Watasan chance.
Kasi yun na nga. Kasi may dalawa na silang good targets for the Z. Kaya it's very smart for them to ban the Z because it's a big threat na kailangan nila laging tingnan. And that's why that's a good ban. Now, they have lost the Kha'Zix. Yung sinabi mo kanina, they can go for the Wukong at least. Unless Gearhawks would ban that dito sa second ban pa nila.
Yeah, so mayroon pa silang isang ban. Pwede nila tignan kung ano pwede nila tanggalin. Oops, and tinanggal na nga nila ni Wukong. So, they're trying to pinch the jungle pool nito. Si Ryujin, ano pa ba natira para sa kanya? Not sure. Wala na yung mga meta. So, he could go for a more slow scaling jungler. Parang mga Vi, ganon.
Echo?
Or Echo. Echo's kinda. Hindi. Vi, Xin Zhao. Could work as well. Pero, pressure is going for Gearhawks. Sobrang lakas ng early game nila on this draft.
Kinuha pa nga nila yung Jace. Yun pa yung malaking nawala rin sa side ng MGS Gaia. Nakuha pa nila yung Jace. They have the damage. Kailangan ng MGS Gaia dito ng mga champions that could CC or at least could peel for the backline. Kasi based on what we're seeing, they have a lot of ways to engage. Kailangan lang nilang i-protect itong Corki. If they have the Jax.
Jax. Okay, so nag-full commit tong MGS Gaia sa late game. So this is a very, very scary competition. Pag umabot sa late game, yan ang problema natin. Paano sila makakapunta doon? So let's see kung ano last nila. And kailangan nila mag-iis. Kumbaga.
Kailangan nila mag-layout pa ng nung bridge para makapasok sila doon sa late game. Which is mahirap. Baka biglang bubagsak na lang yung bridge na yun bago sila makaabot doon. Dahil ginawa na ng Gearhawks yun during the first game. So it's a good thing na meron silang Renekton para at least meron silang someone that could be, kumbaga, yung parang juggernaut nila for the early mid game.
Yeah, so bale ang nangyari dito is aasa sa Renekton na lumamang sa lane and to try to help them para makatawid na maayos papunta sa late game, and that will be a last pick luck. So they're going for a semi-global poke composition na maraming pampitas dito sa Gearhawks, and MGS Gaia is just basically going for the late game.
Yun yung mahirap dito. If ever they're gonna go for the late game. I like na yung Gearhawks, no? They always pick an AP bot lane. Kanina pinik nila was the Morgana, now they go for the Lux. Na usual, nakikita rin naman natin sa icons na pag kailangan nila ng burst damage, pag kailangan nila ng someone to at least snipe the backline, ito yung safest way. Go for the Lux, go for the Morgana. You have the safety, you have the shielding, and you have the potential damage pa during clashes na usually hindi napapansin. And very low-key yung mga ganitong champions eh.
So, meron din silang mga globals in the phase. Pag nakapag-ulti yung Camille, ang pwede man lang gawin is mag-ulti tong Galio as well as the final spark ng Lux to be able to take down targets such as yung Renekton, probably Jax. So, another important game na kailangan mag-stasis yung mga members ng MGS para ma-mitigate yung combo na to.
Yun nga. Kailangan lang talaga nilang mag-survive dun sa early game. If ever ma-decelerate man yung power spike nila, it's okay. And basta makaabot sila sa late game, that could be good for the team here. Pero if ever Gearhawks takes all the Drakes, takes all the objectives, that is when things get bad. Pag nakuha nila yung extra stats from those dragons, pwede sila makipag-backbackan even though mag-late game sila. Kasi remember, that's a Jace and that's a Lee Sin na pwede mag-snowball ng early game.
Yes, so most likely kung ano nasa position ng MGS, what I would want to do is to try to play the game slow tapos to trade objectives kung kaya. Kasi I don't see na kaya ko manalo MGS pagdating sa first objectives unless magkamali yung Gearhawks or there's something, an X factor na nangyari. But if it goes to the normal straight 5v5, mahihirapan talaga manalo tong MGS sa isang team fight. Even though may package sila and the Renekton, it will still be a bit hard, kumbaga.
Yeah. And ang maganda dito kasi, it's very linear. If ever papasok yung MGS, they would have a hard time backing away. Kaya if ever magko-commit sila, kailangan nila mag-commit fully dahil they don't really have a lot of ways to get out of the fight. Yes, they have the dashes from these champions, but the Senna and Nasus would be left alone. Kaya they need to choose their battles like game 1. Gearhawks would have a lot of ways to get out of the fight. Except for the Lux na usually naiiwan rin naman sa backline. Pero mas forgiving. Based on what I'm seeing, mas forgiving yung composition ng Gearhawks.
Ang ganda ng picture niya, nakalagay mid-diff sa kanyang tooth. Wala lang. Pwede pala yun.
True.
Inconfident. No? Si Cray ba yun?
Pero ito, no, back to our game. I hope makita natin yung mid-diff na yan, no, kay Cray pati kay Apa-Ama na nasa mid lane ngayon. Kaya with the Corki, with the Jace, nakikita natin sa icons, usually it's a Lucian and the Corki, but now we're seeing something different. Ito yung parang alternative eh, sa Lucian Corki. It's the Jace Corki sa team.
I think Jace Corki, Lucian Corki, lagi nangyayari. Basta nangyayari sa icons, always the AD mid, but there's going to be a gank. Wala. Tama nga na lang.
Kasi mahirap din eh.
But the problem is here, nakuha na ni Lee Sin Scott, most probably, hindi siya nag-contest. Hindi, magko-contest sila.
Yeah, they're contesting the Scott. They want to not let Ryujin get the Scott there. Oh no, he's moving forward. This is gonna be a 3v4. This is not gonna be a good fight for Gearhawks. That's gonna be a first kill for their side. And ang ganda ng rotation nila all around this. Just because they got bot lane pushed, nakapag-rotate agad yung members dito ng MGS.
Yes, I think nagkamali dito yung GHX. Di sila on the same page. Ang gusto gawin na Lee Sin is gusto niya invaden yung blue ng Jax. And then siguro sinabi ng Jace, uy, contest na lang natin tong bot Scott. Kaya na late yung Lee Sin doon. Pati yung Lux na late rin. Ang nangyari lang doon is Jace tsaka Gal. Kahit lamang sila, 4v4.
Yeah.
Lugi sila dahil sa numbers game. Na late yung Lee Sin, pati yung Lux doon.
Very important yung mga early game plays na ginagawa ng mga teams natin dito. Nakita natin mid lane is shoved, which is why Apa-Ama had the confidence to go for that scuttler. Pero the problem is, bot lane was shoved din in favor of MGS. Kaya yung si Oshiro, hindi agad siya naka-rotate para dun sa scuttler battle na yun. Very smart play from MGS.
So, good start para sa MGS na na-counter nila. So, yan ang number 1 na kailangan nila gawin is to counter the plays ng ginagawa nitong GHX. Because very proactive ang kanilang composition, lalo na pag level 5 na tong Camille Galio, which is punta na doon.
Yeah. Eto na, papunta ng atay ito na Benga. Kasi eto na, level 5, gusto nila kumuha ng kills sa side ng Gearhawks. Hindi yata nila magagawa yung early game aggression nila na meron sila during first game. So, naghahanap sila ng ways para magkaroon muna ng vision bago tayo mag-head dun sa 5 minutes na objective na hinihintay natin.
So this is one way na gusto nila gawin is to start yung laban sa top lane. I think Camille nag-ulti pero Jax with the counter gank.
Oo, nakuha agad nila dito.
Mamas
Nakakuha sila ng stun agad kay Bitter End. Nakakuha sila ng turnaround. Wala pa masyadong damage dito sa Sly. Kaya nakakapag-back away sila during this fight. They still have the flash onto Ryujin. Kaya pwede siya maka-get away dito. Pero Sly, oh no, the flash comes in! Whoa, the counter strike was blocked! And that's gonna be the trade out right there. Pero makakuha pa ata sila dito ng isa pa. The damage is there. Pero the Rocket Barrage wasn't able to hit. The slow is there! The flash in! They risk it! And they just gave the kill to Sly.
So I think it's a 2-4-2 overall exchange. MGS, good counter gank dito para kay Swift Ryujin. Medyo masim lang. But overall, I think this is okay para sa MGS. They could have done it a lot cleaner. Lalo na pag tumama yung mga kanilang skill shots. But you'll take it. Kasi pwede mag-accelerate yung gold ng Jax, pati yung Corki. Just something that you need.
Yeah. Could have been better, but at least nakakuha sila ng kills dito talaga. And yun nga, as you said, this would enable these laners to make sure na makakakuha pa sila ng plays later on. And ito, no, medyo nag-slow down yung game to natin. We're not seeing that fancy plays na nakita natin, no, 1-5 agad before the first objective. And Gearhawks, they have been playing confidently, and MGS knows how to punish them.
Yeah, so MGS playing a lot better as compared to last game na gumagawa sila ng mga plays na hindi masyadong maasim. They're knowing they're at the right place at the right time, kumbaga. So with the objective spawning, tignan natin kung anong gagawin nila, whether to gusto na i-contest or ita-trade lang nila. Yes, I think it's going for the trade na lang, which is the better call.
Ayaw na mag-risk ng side ng MGS kasi they know na at this point in the game na meron silang first items. Gearhawks would have the advantage. Kaya they're playing it safely by just taking this... Wait, parang ang tagal nila.
Uy, nag-reset!
Oh no!
What?
Nag-reset!
Oh, no.
So this is not gonna be good for them. Pwede umabot this side ng Gearhawks.
Yes. So, half HP Herald. So, what tignan natin yung GHX? I think they would want to take the mid instead, which is another good call as well. Kasi, makukuha nila first tower. Ay, hindi!
Oh no, mali ata yung call nila dito. Nakakuha sila ng Dragon's Rage. Na-exhaust nila si Bitter End. Walang flash to. So, this is gonna be another kill for the side ng MGS. 1-0, pero top side and bot side. Look at that. They're taking the towers there.
So GHX, kahit na namatay yung Lee Sin sa mid, they're able to take the dragon and they're putting pressure on both side lanes, which is yung team composition nila. First tower goes to MGS.
Wow!
Jax trying to go for the mid. Bot and bot both go down. Herald yata makasa pa.
Nakaisa ng hit dito sa Herald sa mid lane, pero that's big. Yung trade ng Gearhawks is a 1-4-2 with the tower. Nakuha sila ng isang kill, pero meron naman sila exchange sa isang tower pa sa side ng MGS. Even though na nakuha sila ng bot and top side, MGS still has the advantage kasi sobrang important talaga ng mid lane when it comes to these rotations.
Yes, so even though maganda ang ginawa ng GHX, kahit medyo nagkamali sila ng rotation namin, nasalba nila yung rotation. Kaso nga lang yung gold, if you look at the gold, walang lumamang. Kumbaga, trade lang. And whenever you trade, you always want to take it kapag MGS ka. Kasi kayo yung scaling composition eh. So if you trade gold, it's good. You accelerate your gold, you get to the later stages of the game, and that's where you will shine. So what GHX needs to do is kailangan nila makakuha ng clean na panalo para mapag-snowball sila ng lead. So, yan ang number one kailangan gawin ng GHX eh. They need to look for a lane na pwede nang i-snowball.
Yeah. Bare minimum na yung mga ganitong advantage sa side ng Gearhawks na magkaroon sila ng 3K to 5K gold lead. Yun yung bare minimum if ever you want to slow down yung mga ganitong klaseng composition sa side ng MGS. Pero hindi nila magawa yun kasi these rotations from MGS are being better. Pero Gearhawks are not letting them push another lane. Pero top side though, look at that. Prey is gonna be their target. And I think nag-Dragon's Rage si Bitter End dito. And they would be able to take the kill. And ito yung sinasabi mo, Rebenga, nakikita na natin in action.
Yes, ito yung one of the ways na kailangan gawin ng GHX is that they protektan na yung bot tower. They don't allow the trade. They get a free kill and possibly even a tower. Kasi pasabog na yung tower. I think one plating na lang yung second tower sa top. And ayun, babasagin na nga.
Uy, makukuha pa rin nila yung second tower. This is gonna be good for them. Even though na meron mapatay dito yung side ng Gearhawks, this is gonna be good kasi meron pa heroes entrance to save them out. Makukuha pa ata nila si Cupid. That is gonna be the turnaround. Pero may hold to their side. Walang nag-follow up dun sa damage and the stone plate, the gargoyle enchant was enough for him to survive. They can run away, pero sayang hindi nila nakuha pa yung kill sa side nila.
Yes, and I think that's still an advantage para sa GHX kasi nabasag din yung mid eh. While na nangyayari yung top lane team fight, binasag ng Lux yung mid and walang nakuha ang trade yung MGS, and if you look at the gold, yun, nakalamang na yung GHX by 1K, and it's something that they need to do na paulit-ulit.
Yeah, slowly but surely, kailangan nila makahead dito sa mga advantage. Pero Dragon's Rage, hindi ina-expect yata ni Crayon, pero hindi tumama yung Justice Punch. And nandito na, here comes the party, here comes the help, here comes the team. Pero hindi sapat para makatulong si Ryujin during that fight.
Yes, ganda ng, even though dito mama yung third skill ng Galio, ganda ng ginawa ng Jace na tinulak niya yung Corki papunta sa taunt. And that would secure the kill, which is good for JHX.
Not enough reinforcements side ng MGS. Hindi nila nakuha yung kill doon or at least makapag-trade off. And once they're losing these types of fights or at least these types of trades na hindi sila maka 1-for-1, that is when Gearhawks would try to snowball. And that is great. Yun yung mga kinukuha nilang fight para makapag-turn around pa dito sa scaling composition ng MGS.
Yeah, so ang pinagtitrapan lang nila talaga is si Corki. So another catch onto him. Wala siyang kasama right now.
Na-burn yung Exos niya, which is great. Pero na-hold nila dito, ang side nila, pero nakuha pa rin yung blue. That is a good trade for Gearhawks. Mga micro-trades lang all around the map.
So ito, ang ginagawa ng JHX is na nagpa-pressure talaga. Gumagawa na sila ng map pressure para di mapag-farm safely tong MGS. And with the Herald up, I think gusto mag-contest tong MGS. May fight sa baba.
Parang inaano yun na lang nila dito. Pero Sly! Ang lakas na damage siya. May hook shot siya in a bit. Pero would that be enough though? That is gonna be it. That's gonna be the kill. And now it's gonna be a 4v4 right here. They got the Herald on their side. Vox was able to get it. Pero hindi pa rin 4v3. This is gonna be a fight that they want to go for. Pero that's gonna be the Hero's entrance onto their side. Gearhawks is gonna turn this thing around. This is gonna be good because they have the damage. Enough. Gray doesn't have enough. The light binding was there. And that's gonna be 4 people down versus 1 in favor of Gearhawks.
Wow, sobrang close ng laban na yun. Tig-pipiso na lang yung HP ng mga GHX and even though na-secure ng Sena yung Herald, GHX winning both sides of the map, winning the top side 4v4, winning the bot side 1v1, which is good para sa kanila kasi napipigilan nila yung mag-farm yung mga champions ng MGS.
Look at the Globe prepaid replay doon sa nakita natin kanina, no? That was such a great way to start fights, no? Ito, gusto really nila may fight. Meron na naman silang Hallowed Mist and nakita naman natin na gusto nila talaga kumuha ng fight before they take this. MGS wants to risk it, pero is that the great choice here for their side? Kasi Robs is gonna be the target here. He's gonna be pushed back. Meron light binding na tumama, pero if that could have been Vox or Cray, sasabog na agad yun before this fight even happened.
So, ang ginagawa ng MGS, they're trying to force a 5v5. Alam nila nasa taas yung Camille. Di ko alam kung may TP siya, but the longer the fight goes, mas may hirapan tong MGS. Oh, ganda ng poke.
May kasama pang final spark. Together with the Dragon's Rage, half HP yung most members dito na MGS. This is gonna be the fight of the century for their side. Herox is here with the teleport, with the shield of the run. They got the dragon, but at what cost? They lost everyone. That's gonna be it. Look at the Hexic ultimatum. Look at how awkward that is. Gray is gonna cry himself to sleep because he is down in the dumps. And Gearhawks 4-for-1, or rather 4-for-2 again. But it's a good thing. Bare minimum na nakukuha ng Infernal Drake yung MGS.
Yes, kahit nasa-secure ng MGS yung mga objectives, pagdating talaga sa team fight, napapressure sila na tapusin agad ang objective kasi may kami nagsasplit eh. So naka-timer agad sila and what a great final spark pati yung Dragon's Rage. Lahat ng skill ng GHX tumama. Di nga nila kailangan yung Camille, di nga kailangan magtipit ng Camille kasi panalo sila sa team fight 4v5. Kumbaga,
awkward din talaga Hextech ultimate.
Ang ginawa lang ng Camille, pinatay lang yung Corki. Kung di nagtipi yung Camille, most likely basag na rin yung top lane ng MGS eh. So, kitang-kita yung team fight. At ito na yung snowball na sinasabi natin. Kanina, even lang yung gold. Ngayon, nag-blow up na. 5k gold, which is yan yung perfect na gold lead na kailangan ng JHX para makalamang sa game na to.
Yeah, ito na. Nandito na sila sa minimum nila. Then minimum talaga na 5k yung gold advantage nila or at least 4k man lang. Kasi the longer the game goes, MGS would have that better stats on their side. Pero if this is gonna be good for them, Herald is on the top side, pin-up na nila, makakapag-rotate dito yung members ng Gearhawks. Pero what they don't know is Bitter End is here waiting for them. Makukuha nila yung tower sa top side. 4 people are here. They're gonna be rotating around it. Are they gonna be risking this? Hero's entrance is here. That's gonna be it. Shield of Duran was here to help them out. They have a lot of damage if ever they try to go in here. Pero ito na, nandito na yung members nila. Mapapatay ata dito sa Bitter End. Guardian Angel has been popped. Would they have the damage? Yes, they do. Backline. Hindi na napapatay si Ryuji pero nakapag-takedown sila ng Apa-Ama. And ito, gusto nila kunin pa yung kill. Si Vox left alone. He has the flash. Pero nandito si Bitter End para makapag-buy ng time. Stasis is out. And that's gonna be the final spark. They need the final cemetery for the side of MGS.
So GHX, napaganda ng ginagawa na MGS with a good kiting, kaso nga lang based sa items, meron pang Guardian Angel and Lee Sin, naubusan ng gas tong MGS after ng damage. A great ultimate by Senna. Kaso nga lang, ang ganda rin ng pagbitaw ng skills nitong GHX, and not only did they win the 4v4 sa top side, nabasag din ng Camille yung inhibitor tower sa baba.
Yeah, I like how they played.
Baron.
Pero ito may laban na pala nangyari. Nakuha nila yung Baron and nakuha pa nila si Ryujin together with it. That's gonna be a great win sa side ng Gearhawks.
Yes, so getting a clean Baron, pati nakakuha rin ng 2 kills. It's looking like a GHX win. But ang pwedeng gawin ng MGX dito is try to weather the storm. Try to look for the team fights. Jax is almost online. Ang problema, wala silang mga stasis, kaya wala sila pang micro. Lakas kasi pang micro yung stasis, but they're choosing to try to get their items as soon as possible. Their core items.
And mahirap dito, when it comes to the Hullbreaker, Corky, yes, Cray would be surviving a lot of these fights, but because hindi siya makapag-deal nung enough damage para ma-wear down yung members ng Gearhawks, parang nade-delay yung mga damage potential nila on their side, and that's why they're having a hard time finishing most of the members ng Gearhawks. And the way that Gearhawks plays, yung pag-bob and weave nila during the fights is enough para ma-wear down rin yung side ng MGS. Ito, makikita na naman natin, itong fight dito sa mid lane, nakita na naman nila, ito si Cupid, he's very tanky, yes, pero wala sila masyado nabawas sa side ng Gearhawks. Napatay si Bitter End, that is big. At least now, it's a 4v5, if ever they fight this, the package is there, and meron silang flash out to the backside para kay Sly. Here comes the Hero's Entrance, gonna go for it, gets a lock up onto 2, and this is gonna be the fight onto the backline, won't be able to get it. Sly is just kiting them out, and they got the kill onto Chin, making it a 4v4, and this is gonna be good kasi nakuha pa nila yung tower in the mid lane, they have the Baron, they want to get the flash, and final spark won't be able to hit, and AcadArena, oh no, he's on the wrong neighborhood, he might get taken down, but Gearhawks will be able to back away still from that fight.
Sly with the TP, pero Gearhawks choosing to go back. Wait lang, gusto talaga niya basagin yung top, and that would be 3.
Oh no!
All inhibitors taken down dito para sa GHX, and wala sila, di nila ma-contest yung Camille as of the moment eh. Wala silang pang-engage sa kanya. If you look at the composition nitong MGS, wala silang panghuli sa Camille, and she could go in and out anytime she wants. Pinaka malaking chance nila is tumama yung snare ng Senna, but it's targeted, so medyo mahirap patamain. If you look at the other CCs, wala. Di nila kaya i-take down yung Camille, especially na meron na siyang 4 items completed.
What's very important here now, Rebecca, to note for the viewers out there is Ryujin, he is dealing a lot of damage. The problem here is, ang hirap mag-stick to targets, especially when they have a lot of dashes. Pero ito, like Sly, he has a lot of dashes. He is a Sly devil right there. Was able to get out, and now, wala na sila.
By time, Elder is up. They're taking Elder.
Ito yung problem eh, hindi sila makapag-stick onto those targets dahil nga because of this problem. And now, Ryujin can't even go to this objective. Heals just healed up Duran. There comes the damage. AcadArena is down. This might be the chance. Ito ata yung hinahanap nila dito. They do have the vision. Kulang pa ata ito. They have the 3k HP onto the Elder. They can jump in. They're gonna go in. They get the skill. That's great. MGS Gaia will be able to get a skill and get out. Now they bought themselves some time here.
Yes. Yan ang, kumbaga, yun na yung last resort, yun na yung last chance ng MGS makabawi, at nakuha nila yung Elder, so meron na silang ulit fighting chance para makabawi sa team fight. All they need to do is try to get the Baron and lumamang yung Renekton dito sa Camille.
Ooh, that sobrang aggressive ng ginawa ni AcadArena doon, and that's why they got the chance. If na-takedown na si Ryujin, hindi sana nila mas-steal yun. Pero dahil na-steal nila, now, they have the damage, they're gonna take less time para i-take down yung members ng Gearhawks. They bought themselves some time. This would be good for them in the long run.
Yes, kung titignan mo yung replay, I think nabangga yung Lee Sin, gusto niya sapahin yung Jax, kaso di siya nakatawid sa kabila. So, napakalaking factor yon para ma-deny yung Elder, but ito, nice kick.
They went in. Okay, that's a stasis. At least now, na-burn nila yung stasis onto their side. Wala na silang shield of Duran, and this is gonna be good. Bitter End, there comes the Hero's Entrance onto them. Bitter End's gonna fall down. This might be the Baron call for the side of MGS. 3v4, this is not a good fight. They don't have enough damage here, but they are still going for it. Cupid, but look at that, the Nexus fly. It's gonna go and end this. Oh, no. That's a win for Gearhawks. 2-0. That's a great call right there.
Oo nga. So, congratulations to Gearhawks. Nice try. Nakita naman natin yung effort ng Jax. Kaso ang hirap. Hindi siya makapag-stick sa isang target kasi daming crowd control ang pwedeng kumawak sa kanya. Galliotont, knock-up, lock snare, and iba't ibang dashes kahit nga yung sipa. So, that's a nice try. And nangyari na
sayang.
talaga dito sa end result is yung Camille talaga yung X factor na hindi talaga nila mapigilan. Kasi if you look at the team fight, kahit sobrang behind na nila 7k gold lead, nakakapalagda sila at this stage of the game.
True.
And nakikita nyo na yung team composition nila na napag-scale. Kaso it ends since it was too late. Wala na silang inhibitor turrets at ginawa ng Camilo, the Hullbreaker. Tapos na lang yung laro. Di na lang niya pinansin yung Renekton.
They're trying to take the they're trying to take the long way pa sa side ng MGS. Pero dahil nga yun, if they try to take or at least go for the objectives, they leave themselves open. And nakita ni Sly yung opportunity na yun. And binate out ng most ng members ng Gearhawks talaga yung members dito na MGS. Nakita nila apat sila, we won't let them go back, and that's why Sly was able to finish the game in their favor. I like the way that Gearhawks thinks, and this is looking very big, lalo na yung mga susunod na games natin for our brackets. This is gonna be brutal. Yung makikita nating laban nila kasi Gearhawks is posing to be a big threat against the other teams here in the Alliance games.
Mechanics-wise, on top, on point yung Gearhawks with the Lee Sin, with the Camille. Ganda ng mga ginagawa nila. MGS Gaya, really good composition. Kaso nga lang, medyo kinulang lang talaga. Early game was looking good. Tie lang yung gold. Sumabog lang na talaga isang maling team fight. And then, yun, pinunish na sila ng Gearhawks Esports dito.
Yeah, that could have been a great one for them. Talaga, in-expect ko na makapag-turn around na sila, nakuha nila yung Elder Dragon, they have enough damage. Kulangan rin sila ng early game talaga ng sticking potential eh. Yes, they have some CC, pero weave in and out lagi yung Gearhawks eh. Talaga nakakapag-run away sila, nakakapag-dash out. Kaya hindi makapag-stick yung Jax against them para makapag-deal ng maximum DPS niya, which has been the problem. Pero ito, take a look at our brackets, everyone. That's gonna be it. Kasi nakita rin naman natin yung Mayhem, Valiant Esports, still a very strong team. They're the champions for a reason. Pero yung losers bracket is very interesting. Leviathans versus TUPM. They've seen each other before sa UAC Season 3. And ito na naman, Tigers Dawn versus Digital Giants. I hope that this is gonna be an interesting match next week.
Yes.
Talagang bakbakan talaga yung both of our teams dito, Rebenga.
So congratulations sa TUPM pati sa URS for advancing sa ating round 2. So they'll be against WVSU pati UST. So looking forward to even spicier games. Pati itong semifinals, maganda rin yung FIT pati HAW. Really good games na mangyayari next week, diba?
Oh, next week, makikita na naman natin itong mga games na to and exciting. Exciting talaga kung ano makikita natin dito sa next week ng ating Alliance Games. That was just our second day, everyone. And before we go into it, the Alliance Games finals will be held live at Conquest 2022 happening on July 23 and 24. At Conquest, you will get a chance to watch the OG finalists battle it out on the stage, meet your favorite gaming and esports personalities, and enjoy a lot of different programs and activities for all kinds of gamers. Stay tuned for more Conquest updates at the official FB page, fb.com/conquestphl. And this is just the Alliance Games wouldn't be a thing without our amazing sponsors and partners. Alliance Games is co-presented by Globe Telecom, our official telco sponsor. And that was just it. Rebenga, do you have a message to everyone here before we before we close this out?
I just want to thank everyone. Salamat sa mga nanood and sa mga sumusuporta sa AcadArena. So support our local collegiate league, which is very good, and maraming salamat din sa AcadArena for helping esports sa ating collegiate space. Napakaling tulong, and hopefully I'll see you guys sa Conquest.
Yeah, and exciting na makita rin natin si Idol Rebenga sa Conquest. And everyone, thank you very much for watching and tuning in for this 2 series between URS and PUP and TUPM versus MGS. Congratulations to the winners na nakapag-advance sa lower brackets natin, ang URS at ang TUPM. And that's just it for this day, everyone. Thank you very much for watching. We have been your casters for today. I'm Dash and I was here with Rebenga. See you guys next week for more Wild Drift action.